Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to the TNT podcast. Finally,
It's been a while.
episode, what is it, like 97, I think?
We're getting close to the big 100.
We probably would have broken the big 100 this year, except we missed so many weeks, and I think we're screwed now. Okay, yeah, this is 94. I was way ahead. So, yeah, we're not breaking it this year.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
So, but as always, like I said, my name is Timpedia. I'm the host, and on my right,
It's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
and on my left, replacing Tyler, who is AFK this week.
The Amazing AIDS,
Yeah.
also known by Noble69.
Oh my god.
Other series.
You know what? I almost yelled at you, but that actually has come out and been out, so people know what that is now.
Yes.
So yeah, we sorry we missed 2 weeks in a row. We've had multiple things come up. Friedman had to miss 2 weeks ago, and then Tyler had to miss last week, and then he had to miss this week, and we were just like, fuck it. We need to get a podcast.
No, I think we were all here last week, but the problem
Oh,
is there was
no,
a more
you're right.
pressing,
There was a
there's more
video
pressing
game
video
that came
game
out.
release.
Speaking of Noble 69, a video game named Halo Master Chief Collection for PC came out, and we needed to get our first session recorded, which we did. So now we're finally back. I will say right off the bat, we are only going to have one more session this entire year because in 2 weeks and 3 weeks, I am going to be home for the holidays for over a week. So we will, after next week, see you guys in 2020. But for now, we have a little bit more news to tackle in 2019. And of course, we can start with Magic since Tyler's not here. Not a ton's happened that anyone really gives a shit about.
It's all dumb news.
It's all news that only
Dumb or angering news.
It's only news that like Magic players who are really committed care about a lot, but there's a little bit. So Magic unveiled its first round of a new product called Secret Lair. For those of you who remember, Wizards has done this thing with the last 3 Ravnica sets where they did something called Mythic Edition, or with Throne of Eldraine, wasn't it like the Collector's Edition or something, Freeman?
It was collector's edition, but they were kind of different. So with actually no, they're pretty similar. With Mythic Edition, it wasn't a set group of cards you got with it. It was just you got packs that could contain premium versions of cards. Correct?
No, Mythic Edition Mythic Edition was when the 3 latest Ravnica sets came out. They had they had a sale on eBay with a limited number of purchases, and whoever got them, and it was a booster box of cards plus 8 alternate art, full art planeswalkers.
That's what it was.
And everyone hated it because it was better than Wizards' shitty website, but they sold out so fast, especially for the one War of the Spark, which I managed to miracle get. They sold out. They crashed eBay. There was a huge kerfuffle. We talked about it a while ago. Wizards mailed out uncut foil sheets of War of the Spark because people were so pissed. Now they come out with Secret Lair, which is I don't think I'd like it, but it's better. Wizards has announced that for 24 hours over the course of a week, they are going to sell a set of cards with previewed artwork, whether or not they're foil, what's in the box.
More importantly, it's a set group of cards, not like one out of these random 15.
There is nothing random.
These 3 cards that we showed off on the internet
for $30 or $40, depending on which one you got. There were 6 sets of Secret Lairs, and the first day of the whole thing, you could buy all of them for $200, and for each later one, it was $30 or $40, depending on what cards were in it. These wild very heavily in their art is overall very different from what Magic's normal style is. There was anywhere from 1 real card to 7 real cards depending on which one you got. Although the funniest thing is that in the case of the 1 card Bitter Blossom, spending $30 on the alternate art Secret Lair Bitter Blossom was actually better than buying a real Bitter Blossom single from any source. So that was funny. But I just thought this was weird. But it shows Wizards is almost dipping their toe into selling singles.
Oh, they definitely are. The MTG finance community is shitting their brains out.
And that is the best part of this, is that anything to piss those guys off is great. Like, anything to hurt the finance guys is all good in my book, because they're the kind of people who bought out every single copy of the Mythic editions just to sell them at a crazy markup. And the way Wizards cheated that system this time is they said, hey, 24 hours, these will be on sale. Anyone who buys one will get one. So there's none of this eBay, oh my god, it's sold out in literally 10 seconds, it crashed the servers. There is, we will end up printing as many as are necessary to meet what sales we have on this day. And that's such a better system for this kind of collector's item. Infinitely better. Apparently Wizards has also thrown in a random stained glass alternate art Planeswalker foil from War of the Spark, randomized, which is kind of cool, little value, depending on which one you get, especially. Like, if you get that Nicol Bolas, that's probably worth almost, what, $20 at least?
At least, yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting experiment. I didn't end up buying any of them, mostly because I don't need any of the cards, / I really didn't like some of the artworks. But hey, that's what they were for. That's why they're so different and why it was such a wild product. Freeman, did you end up buying any? I don't think you did either.
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't like the artwork on it, on most of the reveals. I think Bitter Blossom was nice, but I like didn't need to throw down the money at the moment.
You're not dropping $30 on a Bitter Blossom and 4 tokens. And honestly, I like the art of Bitter Blossom, but I honestly think all the other arts for Bitter Blossom are better.
Yeah, that too. Like, nothing here jumped out and said, "Ooh, I need this art." It was more like, this is neat art."
If there was anything I was gonna
if
there was anything I was gonna buy to have, it was gonna be the 5-color Commanders one. But in the end, I'm like, Reaper King sucks. As cool as he sucks ass. I'm never gonna build dragons because it's boring, and Slivers I'm also never gonna build because I don't have thousands of dollars.
Slivers. Who would ever play
Look,
that?
you play. I didn't say
fun deck.
I did not say that. I said I don't want to play Slivers.
I know. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just making fun of.
But yeah, there were some cool. It's certainly a cool direction, and I hope that Wizards does this instead of Mythic Editions going forward, because that kind of limited sale shit clearly pissed everyone off and was I mean, I can't even imagine it was good for Wizards. They had to send out all those uncut sheets of War. That was a lot of sheets they fucking had to mail out.
It is, yeah.
But this, of course, couldn't make everyone happy. Apparently, the shipping costs and like duties costs are, in some cases, more than double the price of the actual product for overseas people. Like, if you spent $200 on the all of them package, for some people overseas, that was a $70 add-on that they had to pay after the fact for overseas shipping and duties, which is just bullshit. None of this was worth $270.
No, not at all.
So yeah, it's Wizards managed to still screw it up, but overall, it's at least a better direction. But then we have some actual. So that, funny enough, since the last podcast, that was announced and happened. It just ended like the other day, right? Like yesterday was the last one.
Like either yesterday or the day before was
the last one. The Cats one.
Was it actually? Yeah, it might have been. Point is, it's over for now, but this is not the last we've seen of this.
No, it'll happen again, and they're still going to be on sale. Like, people still bought them just to resell them later, but so it's not like they're gone forever. Nothing's gone forever in Magic. I mean, I have a couple original dual lands. Those are 20. Those cards are almost as old as I am. It's possible. But news today that came out, Wizards has done a monthly state of the beta article where they talk about how Magic Arena's going. And they had an interesting announcement in there today that based on a tweet I thought was way worse, and then Freeman looked into it and he went, okay, this is still bad, but not as bad. But Freeman,
it's not terrible. It's just, sure. So
it's lame.
Ever since Brawl, which is basically Commander Light, came to Arena, Wizards has been very concerned about putting these like free, incentivized, non-rotating formats. So they only allow you to play Brawl on Wednesdays. The rest of the week, they want you playing Standard. And people have been bugging for the last 2 months, like, can we please just be able to play Brawl whenever we want?
Because Standard was awful until the bans happened.
It's still not amazing because we're in a small Standard with a very limited set of strategies. But Wizards is like, players, we heard you loud and clear. For the low price of like $12 or like 10 days worth of grinding in game.
Or 10 real dollars.
Yeah, or 10, yeah. Well, like, it's closer to 12. Point is,
I don't know.
You can join a play Brawl anytime you want queue for the next month. And fans are sitting here, and we're like, hold the fuck up. First of all, you told us no brawl every day because the game can't support 2 queues, and now you're adding a second queue, which you just said the game can't support.
It can if you pay money.
And now you're charging us for it with this short notice. It's just, there's a lot of shit that isn't adding up, and it's just Wizards saying, like, please keep spending money on standard. We can't let you just join our game and only play brawl with your 1-ofs instead of buying 4-ofs for your decks. And it's like, they're not straight up saying they're being greedy, but like
they are.
It's fucking obvious.
Can I just say the way I said what I said made me think of the Rick and Morty thing when he collapses the dollar or the intergalactic currency, and he's like, "I'll answer that question for money." It's like Wizards will let you play Brawl for money.
For money. This is 100%. They're seeing this on all accounts where everyone is hoarding gold for the next set to come out, and they're like, we got to drain some of that gold out so that way we can convince them to spend money at launch to play these meta decks. So that's 100%
just
the reason
the
behind
fact
even
that
allowing
Wizards
gold
is
to
like,
enter.
we can't let them build up their gold. They'll be able to do their drafts like crazy, and that'll be good for them, and that's bad for us.
I wish there was an avenue to tell Wizards this, because they don't even listen to their own community. But the fact of the matter is,
clearly they do, Freeman. You can play Brawl for the next month.
Fucking God. As long as people are playing your game, someone out there is going to need to buy packs to play the game. But if the queue's dead because no one wants to play, like, they should prioritize keeping the game popular above all else. Like, it's no surprise Hearthstone isn't doing that hot, and a lot of it isn't that the game is bad, it's that no one's playing it, so other people don't want to play it. And it's this snowball effect. It's happening. It's even happening with Fortnite. The former biggest game out there is starting to snowball because people are like, my friends don't play anymore. I don't want to play it anymore.
Sorry, when you say snowball, that implies getting bigger. You're saying like starting to collapse.
No. I'm talking about the issue of player leakage is snowballing, not the game itself.
Starting to anti-snowball.
The issue is snowballing, and the issue is lack of people. So yes, it's
okay. Sure. Yes,
we're melting
I understand.
here. Fine, better now. We're starting to melt.
I understand.
Anyway, they gotta keep us happy, or I'm not gonna keep playing this game. That said, I'm probably gonna keep playing this game because everyone knows me. I'm the guy that bought Sun, Moon, Ultra Moon, and honestly, to be perfectly honest, almost considered Sword and Shield. So it takes a lot to get me to quit. This is probably not it.
Sword and Shield. How about that?
Nah, you're better off. You made the right decision.
Real quick tangent about Sword and Shield, then we'll get back to Magic. But I would stop by my local GameStop this weekend just because it was at the mall I was at, and I asked, like, do you have any pre-owned copies of Sword and Shield? They're like, not a single person here or at the large mall nearby have even like traded in one copy.
Wow.
So I was surprised that no one traded in after the first week, given that the game only takes 16 hours to beat. So people are holding on to their copies. There's no pre-owned copies to be found in northern New Jersey.
That is something that they did nail very well. They hit that grind perfection where it's like, am I having fun? I don't really know, but what I do know is I need to raid for that XP. Those XP
the max
candies
raid battle.
and the fucking, like, I want to get those perfect IV Pokemon because they made that easier.
I need my Gigantamax Charizard that you can only get from raid. They put a lot of like grinding mechanics to keep you playing, which isn't terrible. Like, honestly, I'm trying to not go on a Pokemon tangent here. Like, of all the things they added, like, raids were the coolest thing, and I support that they did that. But man, fuck them. Anyway, back to Magic the Gathering. Last thing before we go talk
real
about
quick,
some real
though.
stuff. Actually, no, the next time is not really. Netflix put up a splash page for their exclusive MTG series with a release date of 2021, which I was pissed about because I thought 2020 was when we were going to get it, but it seems like it's pretty far off from now. So we're probably not going to hear anything about that series.
I mean, Wizards probably announced it almost as soon as physically possible, so I wouldn't be surprised.
That is also how they do sets, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, this could also be, I mean, actually, since you say that, like, we've just left big Chandra time. Maybe they're going to swing back towards Chandra, like, maybe they're planning things out with set releases, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet they cut her from the storyline until the show
then
is, like, expected to release, and then have, like, the Chandra set and maybe tie the plot in with what's going to happen.
Even though we just had the Chandra set of Core 2020.
Oh, the Chandra set was more of, like, Chandra's path. Like, they're going to tell a story where, like, you know how Jace was, like, the main character in Shadows over Innistrad? Sort of.
Yeah.
It might be like that for whatever set comes out when the show releases.
Probably.
Where it's not like so in your face, but she's just in the art of a lot of cards.
I don't know. The story's been getting its own shit with the. Oh, we didn't even talk about the retcons and shit, but who cares?
Look, man, Chandra's got to be hetero-flexible.
No.
This Netflix series.
No. Stop.
All right, yeah, let's stop. We're done talking about Magic.
Let's talk about the other meme, Overdank. Woo.
Real quick, Overwatch released their Winter Wonderland bullshit again today. This game is on maintenance mode till Overwatch 2 comes out, so we got a grand total of like, I think there's like 6 legendary skins, 3 epics that you unlock by playing like or winning 9 games a week, which in my current state of playing Overwatch is a fucking hassle, and I don't know if I can win 9 games a week anymore. But that's it. Skins aren't bad. There's nothing else going on. It's the same Overwatch winter event you've played every year for the last 3 years. Yeah, fuck Overwatch.
I need my skins though.
I know, me too. The Doomfist one looks amazing. Anyway, let's talk about some real stuff.
Wow,
now.
that was less than a minute. But yeah, so this is, I don't know if anyone else watched this, but finally, after what feels like an appropriate amount of time waiting since Endgame, I almost said Wizards. Marvel has finally released the trailer, along with a couple other trailers that I care even less about, like a Wonder Woman trailer and a Mulan trailer that came out. But the Black Widow trailer for the first time came out, and everyone I know gave it a resounding eh. Even the people who I know, like Val and friends of mine who are like, yay, Marvel. Like, one of them I was like, aren't you excited? And they were like, she's dead.
Yeah, that's the fucking problem with this right now. This movie needed to happen
before Endgame.
Long time ago.
I think you literally could have done it before Endgame.
Yeah.
Probably. The thing is, it's the thing that makes the MCU so great is each movie adds on to the MCU. This doesn't. I don't know. Like, they may add some details that change things, but it doesn't push the plot of the MCU forward.
Yep.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I totally agree.
This
like
is
Captain Marvel's was sort of the same thing. Like, this will, like, stuff here will matter in Endgame, but it doesn't push the series as a whole forward. It was its own side story that may flesh out something later on. Like, you can go into Endgame,
but this doesn't
and not have watched
this is but
Marvel.
Sure, but like Marvel still mattered.
It
like,
expands on it, but
like you didn't need to know. But like you don't need to know like the whole idea of Endgame and Black Widow's story is that it's the end of her story because she found the family she didn't have, and now we're like, oh look, she actually had a family the whole time. Everybody, haha, just kidding.
Yeah, it'll kind of undo the character development.
This is the Game of Thrones effect.
Oh no.
Where, having now seen the end of Game of Thrones, I no longer care about anything else that happened before it. I'm not going to go watch those old seasons. And like this, I don't care about watching Black Widow because I know how her story ends. And like, I've seen the significant things that happened over the course of her character arc that I enjoyed, and like, that's it. I just don't care anymore because like I feel like I've seen everything that I need to see about this character. You ended her arc and that's it.
Like, we saw her character growth, and now it's like, nah, we're gonna go before she had her starting point. We're gonna set a new starting point.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm meh about it. I'll probably watch it on somebody's Plex server or something.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I am probably this might be the first Marvel movie Val and I, since dating, don't go see together in theaters, and that's kind of a big deal for me. Like, I don't know, that's like the one movie series we've always been like, yeah, we'll go to the movies at least a few times in a year to see Marvel movies, and it's like, I tried to show it to Val, and she's like, I don't wanna, because I don't want to see her again after Endgame. I'm like, yeah, I can understand that. Like, why? Also, the scene at I don't know, did you... So, I never actually heard, did you guys watch the trailer?
Yeah, I saw it.
No. I don't...
Like,
so,
Aiden, you saw at the end with the whole skydiving forever thing?
Yeah.
Did you... Okay, so am I crazy, or did that scene actually, like, visually not look very good?
Yes. It was kind of jarring.
It was a little weird.
I mean, yeah. it's just.
I mean, I will say the sheriff. What's his name? The sheriff from Stranger Things. He plays the Russian Captain America, basically. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. What is his name? Fucking.
I know it's bad.
God damn it. Oh, it's so good though. Whatever. It doesn't even matter.
It's cool to see him, but it's not worth going. I don't think we'll go see this movie. There's not really that much hype for it. I don't really want to see the new Wonder Woman, but the trailer for not to talk about that really, because I think we even cared less about that. But that at least looked at least a little more interesting than.
Wait, Hopper's in this movie?
Hopper, yes, that's the sheriff's name. Yeah, he's in the movie.
Okay.
I don't know. Wonder Woman looked like Wonder Woman again. They even brought back the dead love interest somehow. And then Mulan, just whatever. I
was looking for Jimmy Wong in that video the entire time, and I couldn't find him. I was very disappointed.
But speaking of not disappointed, this is actually pretty cool news. So, I forget what it was. Like about a week and a half ago, before the month started, there was a deleted Netflix tweet that seemed to imply that Castlevania Season 3 would have been out either this past Sunday or even the Sunday before that, or sometime like all in this first week of December. And everyone was going crazy, and I know I was going crazy because I can't wait for a new season of Castlevania. That show is fucking amazing. Highly recommend. But someone tweeted the picture at one of the, either not the creator, but one of like the lead animators or something, and he tweeted back, well, it can't, this is news to me because we're working on the last episode. But suddenly that's like, oh, so you're telling me the next season's almost done though. So even though it's not out yet, a lot of people are now like, so does that mean we're going to get the new season by the end of the year? Or like early next year at the latest? So kind of announcing a new Castlevania season, which I'm so on board with. It's crazy.
Yep, agreed. Seconded.
Freeman, you never got around to actually watching the show, did you?
I didn't watch season 2. I've only seen season 1.
Oh my god, it gets so much. It's
so
like season 1's good, but 2's even better.
The problem is I had a group of friends who wanted to watch all these shows together, and then one
Freeman,
of them just
stop watching shows with friends. It never works.
Well, what am I supposed to do when I hang out with my friends? When they're free. But the problem is then they're like, oh, fuck it, let's watch Kakegurui, and then season 2 happens, and then he bails again. It's just like... And then it happened with 7 Deadly Sins, and we finally told him, fuck off, we're going to watch 7 Deadly Sins season 2 without. He's like, oh, well, I'll make it next Monday. We're like, all right, cool. He bails on Monday. We're like, all right, we're watching. Anyway.
Yeah, so just do that.
Castlevania is such a quick and easy watch to do by yourself. Or hell, you guys were going to start your anime Sundays. Val would be happy to show it to you and Luigi on fucking Sunday.
I've got to figure out what we're watching on Sundays, because half the shit that Val wants to watch, Luigi isn't watching.
Look, you'll find a way. Maybe we'll just save it up till I'm home and she'll just have to watch it in bursts.
Do you really want her to cry for 4 hours continuously watching all of this season of Hero Academia?
I watched. We'll talk about it later, but I watched the new stuff because I ain't waiting. And fuck, is she gonna be wrecked?
All right, well, we'll get there when
we'll get there, and you're gonna disagree with me, and I know better. But no, Castlevania Season 3. If it's coming soon, I'm fucking hype. Like we're gonna talk about it in a few minutes, but Witcher's already coming this year, and fucking Castlevania would be the cherry on top for Netflix to get me to just go nuts. That'd be so great to have both of those at the same time. This is much more important to Aiden than anybody else, but it's still cool.
Yes. Resident Evil 3 Remake. Officially confirmed.
With a trailer.
That
weirdly looked like it was in first and third person, even though it seems like it's a third person game again. And not like 7.
Yeah, it's gonna be a third person game again. They were doing the whole like Resident Evil 7 horror.
Yeah, it looked like 7 a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the engine that they used, so no shock there. But yes, Resident Evil 3, and it's coming very soon.
What is it? April?
A lot sooner than it's April 3rd.
Wow, that's really soon.
Yeah, when did 2?
Way sooner.
That's like a year after 2, right?
Yeah. Resident Evil 2 didn't come out that long ago.
I mean, they're just going to use the same engine to make.
Well, I was
all
also
these
going to
remakes.
say, like, Aiden, isn't it true that... Okay, so I never played any of the Resident Evil games fully. I don't think a single one except 5.
Okay.
Doesn't 3 also take place in Raccoon City and even a lot of the same places as 2, or no?
Yes and no. I mean,
Like-
it takes place in Raccoon City. You're playing as Jill from the first Resident Evil.
Right. Is it let
Um,
me like the reason I bring it up is it not possible that they like might have overworked on 2 knowing that 3 could have easily slid into the pipeline and like, oh, if we just build out this area a little more, then we don't have to do much work for 3 because it's just going to
yeah.
be the same
100%.
Okay.
100%. That's almost definitely what happened. Because I mean, you're still in Raccoon City, so
Yeah.
the assets
That's what
that
I
they
mean.
used for 2. I mean, building 2 was definitely the harder part of all this because they had to remake all of those assets from scratch. But now that they have them, So
Plus the engine works and they don't need to really change much. You just slap a Jill model on instead of a Leon model and there you go.
And coming with Resident Evil 3 is their asymmetrical multiplayer Resident Evil Resistance game for some reason.
Okay, I genuinely don't know. Is this a new game or is this like a new take on an old thing?
No, Resident Evil Resistance. This is a new thing as far as I'm aware.
Okay, because I know I just know there's been multiplayer modes for Resident Evil games before. I didn't know if this was like a modern twist. So it's a new multiplayer game. Okay.
Yeah, and they announced this in September. They announced the Resistance game, but they said nothing about Resident Evil 3.
So now it's suddenly bundled.
And now they're suddenly both in the same package, which I find very weird. Maybe they didn't get the reception for Resistance that they thought they were going to get. So they're just kind of like, all right, fuck that. Shovel it in with Resident Evil 3. Add some of that value, whatever. But yeah, I am exceptionally hyped. I think the Resident Evil 2 remake was the best remake of any game I've ever played ever.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, well, they did a very good job they nailed all the things that made the original game good, but they changed it and modernized it in all the ways that made sense to do so.
In all the right ways. That's good.
Yeah. So, yep, that's it. Resident Evil 3.
Coming shockingly soon.
And now this is going to make my painful wait for Cyberpunk 2077 even easier.
Well,
because it comes out 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not like you have a lot of time. Like, this is just like, hey, just crush this game and then immediately switch.
Yes.
There's so many games in this release window.
Speaking of games, though, let's stick with some Japanese-developed video games, shall we?
Yeah, speaking of third games in series developed by Japanese companies, let's talk about the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC trailer that officially dropped in the last week, but got leaked way earlier on the official Square Enix YouTube or Kingdom Hearts YouTube. Point is, the Kingdom Hearts DLC that's been teased since about a week after the game launched earlier this year came out. It has, all right. So I read a description of what it actually is. So for anyone who doesn't want to hear Kingdom Hearts 3 spoilers, jump ahead about 5 minutes. So at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora goes air quotes missing. He's looking for someone. He ends up in this other world in the like cutscene that comes after the credits.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that no one skipped.
This is the story. Yeah, no one skipped. This is the story of like what happened that caused him to disappear. And apparently a lot of it looks like it's rehashing a lot of the final boss battles again. This might be more of a challenge mode. But for the first time in Kingdom Hearts series, Kairi is playable, which has been the biggest fan request for forever, and I'm very happy about that. And I was excited until I saw how much this DLC costs. This is $30 DLC. They're priced this like it's its own fucking game, and this is just like boss battle DLC with reused boss fights. Square, what are you doing to me? I don't know if I want to pay $30 for this, but I do want to play this. Like, if they started learning their lesson with the shit we didn't like in 3 and fixed a lot of it in post-launch patches, but $30 is really steep for this add-on content. I don't know. Pretty shit. In terms of other more confusing shit about Square Enix's releases, they announced that Final Fantasy VII is a timed exclusive for PS4. So it will be on PS4 for 1 year as an exclusive, and then it will move on to other platforms. The problem with this is they haven't clarified. Final Fantasy VII is 3 games. Is the first one exclusive for a year, or is it after a year, all of the Final Fantasy VII releases that are coming out will release on all platforms? Or is it like Chapter 1 releases this year, Chapter 2 releases like January of next year, and all of them are exclusive for 1 year for each of their own release dates, which would make this really confusing. And again, they have not clarified.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So we'll be
this
left to
sucks.
be confused until Chapter 2 comes out in like 8 to 9 years from now.
Hell yeah.
Kingdom Hearts sequel time.
Along with about 8 more subplots and side stories and prequels.
Look, one of these days, Final Fantasy 16 is going to happen. One of these days.
I mean, it's probably real close.
Look, I'm just going to say this. They never actually made a Final Fantasy 15. They took Versus 13 and they said, fuck it. We don't have time to make a 15.
Fuck it,
This
road
is
trip.
This is 15 now. Just release this game.
True. That isn't. Yeah, that is what happened.
So they haven't actually developed a Final Fantasy since like 13 that was meant to be the new Final Fantasy. 14's demo doesn't count. But yeah, that's it for Square Enix news. They just don't know how to announce anything these days.
Nice. Oh boy. All
Anyway,
right.
speaking of announcing things these days, because I think this came out today.
The second one actually did, but the first
I thought
one...
today's with Geralt was the first one.
No, the other one came out like yesterday, so I think they're doing an everyday thing. But it looks like the Witcher series from Netflix is putting out little 2.5-minute character trailers. Yesterday, although as of this recording 2 days ago, was Geralt. It's really cool. It's just footage of the show split with the actor or actress showing or talking about the character and what they are and who they are and what they believe and things like that. And the first one was Geralt. Henry Cavill killed it. And then I unfortunately don't know her name, but the girl who played Ciri did the second one that came out today. And they're really interesting. They're giving a really good little glimpse into the characters without really spoiling anything. They're just kind of saying, hey, going into the series, this is the kind of person this is. But clearly, I mean, anyone who knows the books, things go very wrong very quickly in the books. I strongly... Aiden, did you watch any of these?
I am literally watching them right now because I didn't know this happened.
So I'm pretty sure... Basically, thinking of the timeline, I would not be surprised if almost all the footage we have seen of this show is from the first or second episode. Which, you know, just like The Mandalorian is what happened.
Yeah.
But knowing the story and how things start, like, you recognize that scene, Aiden, in the castle with the queen
yes.
at the head of the table and everything. Although things are different, most of what they alluded to happens very early in The Witcher, and I strongly suspect that it's going to be the first, maybe second episode by the time we completely get through all the footage that has been shown so far, which is awesome. I love that shows are doing that more. I wish movies would follow suit.
Well, what do you mean? You don't like movie trailers spoiling the whole fucking movie in the 5-minute trailer?
I mean, I guess I understand in that, like, the first 2 episodes of The Witcher are probably going to be almost as long as the average movie, but either way.
We can only hope.
Yeah. I don't actually know if we know run times for anything yet. I don't think we do, if it's going to be half or hour 45 shows. Whatever. If it's anything like The Mandalorian, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited. The show launches next Friday, December 20th, and I'm going to be watching it. I almost said I'm going to be watching it right away, but then Val's probably going to want to watch that together. So maybe I'll save that one since I haven't been saving anything else. And we'll watch it when I'm home for the holidays. And then when I move back, we'll finish it up. But either way, very excited for The Witcher. Time has been getting me more hype for this.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on Henry Cavill.
I understand. Listening to interviews and stuff and the footage from his trailer, he definitely at least seems to understand Geralt. So
yes. It's whether or not
the
showrunners understand it.
Sure. I will say I think Henry seems like the kind of person, like, apparently he's read every book and played at least 3, if not also 2. So
okay.
In my mind, that kind of person at least has the presence of mind to understand what they're walking into and what they're doing.
Yeah. All right. I'll give it the old college try.
Freeman, I'm just do something, Freeman. I'm not even gonna try.
All right, so in college, I started watching more anime. So let's talk about anime. I wasn't expecting this transition. Let's just jump right into it.
Well, I didn't how is this supposed to transition The Witcher?
I don't
and
know.
Netflix?
I was like, I wonder how he's gonna do it.
And I'm like, I'll just make you do it.
Well, we just
God, that was
force.
fucking terrible. Regardless, it's time for the Weeb shit.
Very short this week.
We'll start with the good news and get into the progressively shittier news. So today
the
was
middle story is not the shittiest story.
Today.
Oh wow.
It's whatever. Well, both of them are equally shitty.
Fine. Okay.
We got one good and two equally shitty. So the first good one is they finally let the news out regarding RE0. For anyone who hasn't watched RE0, it was this really good isekai series from 2015 before the isekai boom, and it left off, poised for a season 2, and it was just a question of when.
Apparently 4 years.
Studio White Fox, who worked on it, has just been taking projects left and right, and I think the idea was they knew it wouldn't happen for a couple years, so they kept busy. But now, earlier last year, they announced that season 2 is coming. They wouldn't give a date. There were rumors that it was January. There's rumors it was April, and nothing was confirmed. If it was going to be January, we probably would have heard by now. Like, today would have been the day to say, hey, it's starting. But what they're actually doing is, since it's been 4 years since season 1 came out, they're recutting season 1 together. So it was 24 episodes. They're cutting it so it's 12 one-hour recuts, including new footage that will explain some of the details they left out from season 1 that will matter for season 2. So that's going to air January to March, and then beginning of April, season 2 begins, and it is going to be 24 episodes. It sounds like it's a continuous run.
So maybe
in this day and age sounds insane.
Yeah. I will say it's like before Val left, I pointed out that like we've been watching Dr. Stone and we had watched Demon Slayer for like 6 months out of the year. That's fucking wild.
Yep.
I know you've been riding on us to watch this show finally, but maybe this season 1 re-release is actually what'll get us in.
So the problem is the re-release is probably not coming to the US, and I don't recommend watching it this way. So the show was directed with the intent to like end at certain stop points for the episodes. And I don't know how well the recut's going to be. Like this show,
I'm sure you'll find a way to watch it and tell us how it did.
This show did an amazing. I'm gonna watch. So since Reddit is the way it is, they're gonna cut all the new footage together into just a super cut. I'm gonna watch that. Because I don't know if I have time to sit down and watch 12-hour-long episodes while I'm trying to catch on all the weeb shit I missed this year.
No, you got this.
Anyway, RE0 is one of my favorite shows from the last 5 years. It's really good. If you like isekai,
I need to watch it somehow because I really want to watch Isekai Quartet already.
Dude, for real, you gotta watch this show. Even Luigi loves it, and he's particularly picky with his shows. But yeah, we got that announcement. I am beyond excited. I cannot wait for this shit. I love RE0. I'm about to pull out the Blu-ray. No, I'm not about to rewatch it. No, I almost caught myself wanting to rewatch this, knowing damn well I'm so far behind on every fucking show this season that I can't.
Especially if you want to have an anime night if you're gonna go to Val's anime night.
Oh my god, that too. The worst part is that half the shows I'm going to watch Val, I'm supposed to watch the following day with the rest of my friends. So I'm going to start double watching these shows, which is going to
look. She'll be more flexible than your other friends probably are.
Look, it's just one friend who's problematic. The rest are fine. Anyway, moving on to the shitty anime news of the week. The first one, this one Tim alerted the TNT boys to this morning, was that apparently, I don't know which studio this is.
It didn't have any names anywhere.
In the article, Tier Studio, which I'm not sure what else they're known for. Let me search this real quick. Jesus Christ, they've done like 2 other shows. One of them was this like ecchi 10-minute series called Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher? That was on Crunchyroll, but it was unfortunately censored, so I didn't watch it.
Unfortunately.
The guys who run this studio took the money to do an adaptation of this series, this Yuri romance series, Frag Time, which got an OVA/movie earlier this year from an unrelated studio. They took the money and they just up and vanished after already commissioning principal work to start. So a bunch of animators are going unpaid. A lot of people are going unpaid for this. They're completely uncontactable. the production committee's like, we don't really know what to do because we kind of spent all the money for the season on these guys and they disappeared. So now this series is just fucked because these guys vanished. This
Amazing.
is stupid. This is just fucking
just wild.
Stupid.
Like in this day and age, guys just took money for something and just literally walked away.
This is bad. Like, making anime is already a financial risk for a lot of shows, and now that there's like
and for the workers.
Well, now it's like everyone's gonna be really skeptical about small studios because Tier Studio just pulled this bullshit off.
What if you steal my money?
I mean, it sounds like just going forward, it's gonna be A1 Pictures all the way down. Or in the case of what's happened with Shokugeki, they're just gonna give it to
no.
Crap, what's that studio?
Don't talk about that show.
Whatever, the studio that does all the bad shows. Why am I forgetting their name? Anyway, the second bit of bad news was there was a really long Twitter post by, I think he's the principal photographer for the Sword Art Online series. For anyone who's watched Sword Art Online, you know that we kind of like season 1, we fucking hate season 2. And then once the movie kicked in, Sword Art kicked it up a notch in terms of visuals. Everything from like the camera work to the scenery all started looking really, really good.
And that's this guy.
A lot of it is due to this guy's work, and he's basically just vented about how overworked they are and how like absolutely screwed the schedule for Sword Art Online Alicization is, which is why the second half, which was already been on a 6-month hiatus since the first half, is only doing 12 episodes, then going on a break, then coming back, which was completely unplanned. And apparently, just because of how, like, I'm 1 episode behind. The action scenes for this half have been amazing, and I can understand why it's taking up a lot of resources to work on it. But they've started just throwing a fuck ton of special effects in the in some of the fight scenes to kind of cover up the fact that they don't have all the keyframes done.
Oh no!
So they're starting to skip things, and we're only like 7 out, or maybe 8 out of 12. So like the finale's kind of in jeopardy, and then we're gonna go on break again. And he's already talking about how like he's like, I can't do this anymore, which is scary when like the guy who's carrying your art direction is like, I can't do this anymore.
So is Sword Art not one of the shows where they would legitimately just throw more money and people at it to try to get it to go?
So here's the problem. There aren't more people. There's a huge animator shortage in Japan because the industry doesn't pay well. So a lot of it's kind of like the game dev community. A lot of people go in for these passion projects and they find out this isn't really a sustainable career.
Hey, like Tyler.
Some studios...
What, he did?
Yeah, he did.
He worked on a few mobile games and went, fuck this sucks. Time to go work IT.
I mean, you have a couple studios who legitimately support their artists, and probably the poster child for how to do it that everyone wanted to work at, unfortunately, was Kyoto Animation, who's now, they're dealing with the fallout of losing like more than half of their staff. We don't know if we're going to see another studio step up to become like the next Kyoto Animation in terms of how they treat and develop their staff. So we may.
Now I'm going to go rewatch Violet just because you said that.
We may just
look what you've done.
We just may end up with no animators in the year 20XX, which just anime is fucking dead. It's all just Netflix CG shit. 'Cause that's all we have anymore.
It does feel weird though because there's a lot of shitty anime that come to Crunchyroll every season.
That's because a lot of shitty anime is made. Here's the thing though, like if you go and you watch most of like the bad anime that they get, like it's not quality. There's not a lot of animation. It's always the same thing. They're gonna draw a couple high school students and the faces the only thing that really differ from show to show. With sort of you need like action scenes. You need someone who can like draw dragons real. You need someone who can draw a fucking orc fighting a knight and a realistic swordsman. Like it's hard to do those. Like
Freeman, I was gonna say that sounds like Food Wars now.
Anyone can draw 2 high schoolers talking to each other with a slight camera pan. Like anyone can do that. But to do legitimate action scenes takes like talent, and talent is either honestly it's scarce, and everyone's already scheduled up for stuff. It's why something like the true One Punch Man season 2 never happened. Instead, we got JC Staff. That's the fucking studio. We got the crap that JC Staff threw at us for season 2.
Still haven't watched it.
Don't.
Wow, straight up don't.
I just said that.
Yeah, dude, that was a gut reaction thing.
It wasn't good. Like it wasn't bad, but it was like I got no value out of watching season 2. Like it made me ruined my appreciation for season 1, knowing that like this is what followed.
Shit, maybe I don't watch it then because I love season 1.
Like season 1 is I'm gonna call it a masterpiece. We're not gonna get anything like that ever again. It's a once in a lifetime show. But that's it for the Weeb shit. I'm hoping there's more news coming out because right now I know literally nothing about what's happening next season. And next season starts in like 3 weeks. Most shows end. They all take off for Christmas, and then probably like the week of after New Year's, like between the 6th and the 10th, is when all the new shows will begin airing.
Sweet.
And I have no clue what's coming out next season.
Nice.
So hopefully we'll have some announcements for next week.
Stuff that is out now, though. There is a lot of content that was absorbed by us since the last podcast because we had all of Thanksgiving break in the U.S. and then we've all done a lot of stuff since then.
Also, it was sitting on the couch watching shows.
Yeah, well, especially now that I'm alone in Ohio, I'm just watching shit left and right. But there's a lot of content to talk about that we're gonna blaze our way through. Mostly stuff we watched, but a few games. But first on the list of the shows, The Mandalorian. We're up to episode 5, and while I wouldn't say 5 was the best episode, the episodes have all been good to better. They are all great.
Yes, I put them all. I'd say my lowest scored episode is a 7.5, and it's actually this episode.
Yeah, 5.
Interesting.
It's like
it's just a little too slow, which is understandable.
Yeah, it's I have an issue. I'm starting to feel a little bit uneasy because we are now on episode 5 out of 8. We have 3 more episodes, and I feel like the central plot line hasn't moved forward very much.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I feel like that's kind of the point that they're going for, but whether or not it's actually enjoyable along the way is to be seen.
Well, that's the thing. I've been enjoying it along the way. I'm concerned whether or not they're going to be able to tie this up for me in a way that's like satisfying as a whole. But I mean, season 2 is done and already on its way anyway. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot. Yeah.
We'll see. If it comes out soon enough, maybe I won't care.
Right. I mean, I think, if nothing else, the show has been just made incredibly well. I think it'll have to take a real bad story turn to turn around the positive feelings I've been having for the show. I will say, it's good to hear that the fucking season 2 is on the way, because if I wasn't getting Disney Plus for free, I would probably immediately cancel Disney Plus as soon as The Mandalorian finished. Because there is nothing else I care about on that service right now.
Yep. Well, I did start watching Clone Wars.
Oh, really?
The animated series. Yeah, I never saw it, and I heard from some people that it was good and I should watch it. And I have been on like a deep Star Wars. I've heard
that for close to 1,500 years, because obviously since I've done so much Star Wars stuff on YouTube, everyone has been all over themselves to be like, Tim, this show gets good, because I remember watching the animated movie of Clone Wars and went, this sucked. And then I watched the first episode of the show and I was like, this still sucks. And then everyone's like, no, give it to like season 3. That's when the show gets really good.
Oh, God.
And I'm just like, you know what didn't take that long? The fucking original animated show by the guys who did Samurai Jack. That animated show is fucking amazing from start to finish. Did you ever watch that one, Aiden?
No. This is like the first animated Star Wars anything that I've watched.
Aiden, the animated Clone Wars show from like 2002 and 2003 was done by the Samurai Jack crew, and it's like all on YouTube to watch. The first season is only about an hour long, and the second season's like another. So it's literally like 2 short movies on YouTube. They are so fucking cool. They do so much cool shit with the animation. There's literally an episode involving Mace Windu and no dialogue.
Oh yeah, that seems like a Samurai Jack out of 10 move.
It is so good. I had such a blast with that show. The only reason General Grievous ever was cool is because of this show. Like, you introduced You should watch it, even like after this. Anyone who hasn't watched it, it's so good. I was actually checking Disney Plus to see if maybe they'd put it, but clearly Disney doesn't give a shit about it, so it's not on Disney Plus in like a sick HD quality. Which
that's not canon. Not canon, Tim.
But yeah. So the Mandalorian is still doing great. Going into dipping, we're gonna dip in and out of anime land right now. Macadamia nuts. Man,
Boku no Smackademia.
This arc is a wild fucking ride.
I can hearing mixed things in terms of reactions from people about.
I can totally understand because some episodes feel like absolutely nothing is fucking happening, and I can kind of agree. But at the same time, the show is clearly trying to make the big three. I feel like... Sorry, let me rephrase. I feel like the show is trying to make you forget that Midoriya says at the beginning of season 1, I was the greatest hero. Because the show is currently going out of its way to go, look at all these other sick heroes, though. They're seriously really good, too. And it's like they're trying to make up for Midoriya saying that and kind of being like, well, shit, we want to pretend we're not written into a corner here. Like, this whole episode this week was about the food guy, Sun Eater. That's all it is. Whole episode. And it's like, it was cool. And Val's going to get very emotional watching it. But there's very little progress being made. So little progress. Oh my god, it's like we entered this facility last week, and then this week we barely got into the facility at all. I will say we do get to see the enhancement drug again in a really cool way. That's fun.
I feel like we're going to see more of that.
Yeah.
But the usage today, or in this week's, everyone was very concerned about how they were going to do it.
Yeah, you watched it. I forgot.
Yeah, I did watch. So it was very well drawn in the manga with just like the panels kind of shifting around. Everyone's like, ooh, it sounds like it's going to take a big budget to make this work in the anime. And it sort of did, because they had to blend CG and hand-drawn to make it look correct.
Honestly, I don't think it looked that great. I thought it looked
like it? I thought it looked cool, because like I don't know a better way to do it without
that's
doing
totally
full
fair.
Movie budget.
That's totally fair, but the characters just looked like oddly disconnected from the hallway for me. It kind of looked like to me it felt like they were just drawings drawn on a separate sheet of paper from the hallway. So, I don't know. That
I
felt
get
a
what
little
you're saying,
weird,
but I definitely prefer that over them trying to use CG models.
Sure. It definitely looked better than the CG. I'm just saying, there, like you said, without a movie budget, there was no way to make it look great. But
yeah,
I think they did a fine job. I'm not saying I hated it or anything. I understood what was happening. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like next week is going to be like another, hey, look at this character thing. And I'm like, man, can we just like focus on Midoriya and like just make some progress, please?
So here's the thing.
The whole, like, half that episode was just look at Sun Eater and these guys.
Here's the thing. I need fans to really sit here and think for a minute about how fast Hero Academia as a show has moved. So would you view the All for One fight as like a defining fight of the series?
Yes.
Okay, at that point in Dragon Ball Z, we had just figured out who the Ginyu Force was. For a scaling. All this shit has happened.
Really?
Yes.
That's how many... Oh, no.
Yeah, like Hero
There's
Academia
a lot of episodes of Dragon Ball.
really fast for a show. Even compared to like Naruto. Naruto's first tournament started reaching the beginning of the last round where everyone started fighting, like around the point where the All for One fight happened. Like, this is
Dragon Ball fucking
shonen.
sucks. Like, this is good. I like this.
Okay, well, all right. Well, let's compare it to Bleach. Bleach had, by episode 48, you had barely started the Soul Society invasion arc. You
my god!
Like, I need to drill this point home. So much has happened in Hero Academia.
Good. It's great.
But the fact that we've taken 5 episodes to do a single arc, and everyone's losing their mind that we're spending too much time on it, is bothering me on a personal level.
No. I don't think... I'm not bothered that things are going slow. I just wish it was a little more spread out. I feel like we're just...
use the phrase "nothing happened this week."
Well, I did use that, but You're correct. I should have
And
clarified
would you
better.
use that phrase about every episode this season? Because
No,
that's what
not
I'm
at all.
hearing.
No, not at all. Just this episode, maybe.
Because that's the sentiment a lot of people have, that nothing has happened in 7 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking? Like,
this episode, I would disagree with those people. This episode really felt like not much happened. But my only concern is that I feel like My Hero for such a long time has done such a good job of balancing character development, where it's like, we don't have an episode that focuses on people too much, but you get a general sense that all the characters are moving. And then, like, this episode and the Red Riot one were like, look at this character. And I feel like we're going to get these peaks of this character and then not see them for 1,000 years.
I mean, they're really positioning Kirishima as like a main character for this arc.
I know,
like,
and it's weird.
The preview for next week showed that he's gonna have a big part next week.
I still don't watch previews, but I heard his name a lot I can still hear, and I don't know what the words are, but I know names, and I hear Red Rioto, so I know I know he's in the episode.
Point is, they've established who like the core for this season are, and Red Riot needed some character development because he's basically just been Bakugo's sidekick for this whole season.
But like that's the same with most of the students. And we haven't seen most of the students in like 1,000 years.
And that's what they're going to do going forward. Here's my not so hot take about Hero Academia. Going forward, each arc is going to use a subset of the students doing normal hero shit going forward for these arcs. That's my prediction. You can't spoil me from the manga. Except you can. Please don't. But
why would you taunt the internet?
When do I not? Anyway, Here's the thing though, like if you could in theory cut this episode out. It could have just been he's so good he'll deal with them, and then you could have cut away back to the main plot line. The question is, when would you flesh out this guy's character, or do you just not?
I understand what you're saying, but that's what I mean when I say like it felt like My Hero was like pulling the whole team along with Class 1A. Like, we had, like, the Midoriya and Bakugo fight, but then the rest of the episode, we saw the rest of the students, and then we had All Mights doing his stuff, and then it's like, I don't know. I feel like we're not really, like, seeing multiple aspects of the story kind of thing. Like, remember, like, the All-for-One fight, like, leading up to that, we had, like, the team trying to arrest with All Might and everything, and then like Deku and his team, and we were following them as like separate branches. There's no separate branches in this story. We're gonna just stop and cut off and talk about this character, and then we're gonna cut to this whole blob of characters running together.
I mean, it's sort of become unified. Like it was always the heroes versus the student plot lines, and now like the student plot line has become the hero plot line.
For like three students.
There's like 5 of them there.
7
of them, actually. Anyway, point is, I like that. We're actually getting the part where they're being real heroes. Now, this arc may not be big, flashy, let's beat up a supervillain, and more of like, yo, let's go rescue this girl from the Yakuza.
Yeah, that's why Val's so emotional about it.
But I think we need a more down-to-earth arc like this.
That I totally agree with.
It can't keep ramping up indefinitely, because
I've
watched a show that ramps up indefinitely, and I can tell you, the last arc of Naruto fucking sucks because of it. So, if we could avoid doing that again, yes, please.
I mean, that's what Gurren does. Gurren goes from literally
Gurren did it in 26 episodes and said,
Gurren
or
was
more
godlike.
importantly, the ramping only took place in the last 10, which was an experiment in like how far can we go before the fans won't put up with the bullshit, and they're just like, oh, we can go to the end of the galaxy.
Go to the end, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's bad, and it's not like I'm gonna give up on My Hero, but
no, I'm thoroughly enjoying this season. I understand it's not hype, but I'm intrigued with everything.
I've been enjoying watching Val get terrorized by the images of this little girl crying and worrying about being rescued by heroes.
I mean, I think the disappointment's overblown, and I don't know. I'm not crying over this girl because I know exactly what's going to happen.
Well,
but...
just shut up. Of course you do. That's not a reason to whatever. That's like saying I watch Violet Evergarden because I like, and I don't cry because I know what's going to happen in that show.
Wait, you knew what was going to happen when you first watched it?
No. I don't mean like the whole season. I mean like a given episode of Violet.
Oh no, the one that made me cry, I didn't see that coming.
Wait, which one?
The one with the
daughter?
The letters to her daughter in the future.
Oh, you didn't see that coming?
Well, I didn't see that she was leaving all those letters for her.
Oh,
And it was
no,
just,
I caught on pretty quick, but that doesn't
the
mean it's not gut-wrenching.
The execution of that scene is what makes it so
All right,
sad.
I'm going to go cry to Violet after this.
It's the same reason I cry every time I watch Megumi's flashback in Food Wars, when she's finally... Every time that I watch that scene with that music playing, I tear up. And in full disclosure, fuck it, we'll talk about Food Wars right now. They played that song in last week's episode when they flash back like Rindo in the first seat, like being first years. And like I had to hold back the tears a little bit because just hearing that song reminded me of that time. And I was like, no,
Aiden,
this isn't a sad scene. I can't cry here.
What do you think of Food Wars this season, Aiden?
Are
you caught up?
It's not what I want it to be.
Are you caught up?
Yeah, for the most part. I think I'm on like episode 7. I'm 2 episodes behind.
Okay, so you're not caught up. Got it.
No.
When I say caught up, I don't mean are you kind of watching. I mean like are you caught up? Because me and Freeman, I'm guessing
I was actually gonna watch the rest of it after the podcast.
That's fine. Prepare to be feeling the exact same feelings that you've been feeling this whole time.
Oh, great.
It's not like it gets better.
So wait,
that's unfortunate.
But here's the weird thing I need to talk about with Food Wars.
Here we go.
Every show that's ending in 3 weeks has their episode counts confirmed on my anime list.
Does Food Wars not?
Food Wars still has an unconfirmed episode count, and I'm getting real fucking nervous that they're gonna go further than this arc.
Oh no, into the arc that everyone hates?
Like the arc that everyone says ruins the show.
Oh no. No, they can't. They don't have the budget for that.
I don't know, man. PowerPoint is really cheap to run these days.
Look, all I know is that this arc is pretty fucking boring because the intro literally screams, here's how the exact ending is going to go. Why bother? Like, I know that's how a lot of them go, but you still want to be along for the ride. But
usually there's a little more tact in it.
There's
Usually
no
it's one of those,
substance here.
When you watch it again, you're like, oh, wow, they show off that part. I didn't think of that. But they really told everything in chronological order in this opening to the point where it's like, we know everything in the first 10 episodes.
But also there's no substance. Like, hey, do you plate first? You lost. Guess what? Like, that's never gonna, like, that
they
cycle...
actually finally subverted it this season. This is the first season where someone who plated second didn't win.
Wait, when?
What's his name? The copycat dude.
Oh, and didn't Megumin actually?
No, she went
I thought she went second because the surprise pancake after
You're right, she went second and lost too. And that's why I was like, this is bullshit. She went second. She should have won.
I don't know. Maybe you're right, but like every fight has just been, I know who's going to win. And it's, okay, here's the real problem. It's not the second thing. It's, we know who's going to win, and they're not even making it interesting to watch because there's no cooking. There is no animated cooking or prep.
Annoying.
There's just, they stand up, they talk a little bit, everyone else talks around them, they plate both things, and they say, this is what I did, but they don't show anything. And then they're just like, well, clearly you have won.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they would have gotten through the whole school section, and we may have moved on to like, oh, we're like doing like a restaurateur arc or some shit.
See, we can't though because the show is called Shokugeki.
Yeah, I know, but like, that's what I was hoping from this show, and it's.
I will say you're not wrong, Aiden, because one of the most interesting arcs of the show is when they fucking do their work out things.
Yeah,
where he goes to the restaurant.
Arc.
Yeah. That was a great arc. That was great, and it was a justifiable power up. And now it's like, oh, they spent 2 days on a train, and now they are 5 times better chefs.
I mean, yeah, we're going with the Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball,
the time chamber,
boost.
The hyperbolic time chamber,
the hyperbolic time train.
Yes,
dude. Now I'm picturing like the Back to the Future train, like flying into the air with them on board, and they're like, "We'll go back in time and train food." Oh, that sounds great.
Just because we brought this up, I want to bring up Bleach, one of the biggest downfalls in shonen anime. And leading up to the final fight of Bleach, like we had like 20 episodes of just the main villain fucking up everyone and the main character in a different universe going like, Dad, how the fuck do I get back to Earth? I need to fight the final boss. And Dad's like, well, you haven't leveled up at all, so I don't know how you're gonna beat him. So they're running to this hallway, and the dad stops like, hey, wait a minute, what? He goes, time dilation works differently in this hallway. He's like, yeah. So he's like, well, what if you just train until you're strong enough to beat the final villain? So he does, and he trains for like 4 years in this tunnel in the span of an episode, and comes out as I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty badass watching him beat the shit out of this villain. But it was one of those like, oh, we're on a train and the competition's in 3 days. What do we do? Oh, I guess we'll just
train real hard. We have these 3 badasses who taught us nothing. Do you realize that actually there's no evidence that any of the 3 guys from the intro who spin around together have taught them anything? The only person who says
they taught them how to work together, but not like actual cooking techniques.
Well, but that's so stupid. Megumin is now the only person who had actual one-on-one training and got better.
I mean, listen.
What does working together have to do with anything?
Training with his dad before.
Yeah, listen, if you're a real anime hero, you don't need to train, okay?
You just show up with your weird hair color and just beat up the #1 seed.
You also, when you lose, you just power up and destroy your enemies.
Can I just ask, Freeman, is it implied that even though we made such a big deal out of tiring out the top 2, literally that doesn't matter because Yukihira and Erina are more tired, and the other 2 said they are better rested than they were?
All right, hold on.
This is actual retard
huge
level
bullshit and this tired out nonsense. So these people are trained to be professional chefs. Where in a given night,
I made one meal. Oh, I'm tired.
A fuck ton of plates for so many customers. This guy makes 1 dish, and he's not on a time limit. He can spend as much time as he wants that day making that dish. Like it's not like the tournament where it's like you guys have an hour and a half to make these dishes. It's a one-on-one with no time limit. So why the fuck is he so exhausted after making 1 dish?
It's mentally straining.
Meditating in his room to get over that dish he made. Like he has to be the worst chef in the universe. If this, I understand. I cooked dinner one night. I too crawl into a ball and cry until 2 days later when it's like, oh god, I need to cook again. But I'm not the protagonist of a cooking anime, so this isn't relevant. Sorry.
I will say, Aiden, you do finally get actual character development on the first seat instead of him just being a waste of space. In this last episode,
instead of him just being like a fucking brick,
like they actually flash back to him meeting Azami, and they're like, "Oh, here's how they met and became buddies."
They did get some rationale for why his cooking ideology, which has jack shit to do with the main villains, like why he's
it's
even
totally unrelated.
It still makes absolutely zero sense, but they at least came with somewhat of a functional explanation.
They're so
Same
different,
thing for Rin,
but they're such good friends. Oh, at least Rin. Suddenly, Rin. Can they decide if we're supposed to like her or not?
We are supposed to like her.
She has escalated, but she's fluctuated so many times from what a bitch to I'm such a good person.
Yeah,
100% likable. 100% likable villain.
Yeah,
but Vegeta never was like, I actively regret what I'm doing. Vegeta has never expressed...
incorrect.
No,
Did we forget Majin Vegeta?
No. I was trying to say, Vegeta has never in the moment went, I am doing this thing, and I regret that I am still doing it. Vegeta, stopped being... he blew himself up as soon as he regretted being Majin Vegeta. In this episode, she is like, man, Central kind of sucks. But I'm definitely going to still work with Central.
The end of Majin Vegeta, he punches Trunks in the stomach, says, tell your mother I love her, gives him to Piccolo, and then goes to blow himself up to stop Majin Buu. And in that moment, he's actually remorseful for his actions up to then.
Sure, but I'm saying he never kept going when feeling remorse. As soon as he felt remorse, he stopped.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You'll see when you get to it, Aiden, but she's like, man, me and... What's First Seed's name? First seat?
Aishi. That's his first name. I remember his actual last name.
It's isn't Tsukat, whatever. Her in the first seat, she's like, man, we were such good friends. I always wanted to be his number 2. But this whole Central thing, because you saw her facing off against the Italian kid, right? You saw that part at least. Okay,
yeah.
So you know how she was all tense and everything, and they made a comment like, oh, she looked uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the next episode, he goes up to her and he's like, so why were you uncomfortable? And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. What are you talking about? You're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And then another guy talks to her and she's like, man, we used to be such good friends. And it wasn't all about this Central bullshit. And now he's so into this Central ass. And it's like, he hangs out with this director Azami guy. And I don't like it at all. I just want to go back to us being friends and cooking. But let's keep cooking for Central, though. It doesn't really matter.
Well, her thing is she has to keep him for Central, or she won't get to cook with him anymore, and that's what she's upset about.
I feel like that's gonna change in the next like I feel like that's certainly gonna change, but it's just frustrating to me to have it be like.
What, you mean the villains are gonna have a change of heart after Soma beats them? That's literally never happened in the show.
No, I don't.
Always.
No, not after they beat. I'm saying during the fight, she's gonna actually fail something because she's distracted, and they're setting up that kind of chain. But it's still kind of frustrating that she's like, so I don't know. It just feels like so against her character, because this whole time she's been like, it's more exciting to go to Central. Let's do it. And now she's all of a sudden like, let's not do it.
It's almost like it's bad writing.
Whatever.
Yeah, this.
You know what's not bad writing?
Kind of feels like that.
You know what's not bad writing?
What?
Ohio, Chicago.
Good morning. They brought back opening
Dude, they brought it.
one
It was
in
so
the last
good.
episode.
It was so good.
I had to convince my friend this wasn't the last episode of the season because, like,
It acted like
the first opening. It must be the finale. I'm like, did you ignore the part where it says next episode after the credits this week?
Oh, that was so. That whole sequence, I was like, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, the music's coming back. Woo, this is great.
There were 2 musical sequences this week that got me hyped.
So 2 weeks ago, though, that got me real good. I almost teared up a little bit when they came back at the end of that episode.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that episode was a roller coaster.
That was a fucking roller coaster. Dr. Stone is bar none one of the best shows that isn't about punching people ever done.
So,
like
fun factoid here on December 16th, so next Monday, 3 days after the airing of the final episode, there's going to be a important Dr. Stone announcement.
Oh, obviously they're going to get another chapter.
I wonder what it could possibly be. There's no way. There's no way the show funded by Crunchyroll, who bought a second and third season of Rising of the Shield Hero, could possibly be funding a second season of Dr. Stone.
One of the most popular shows every week on Crunchyroll and Reddit.
But yeah, I'm very excited. We're getting another season of Dr. Stone.
I'm loving it. It's great.
I brought this up before and I'll bring it up again. Like, except for 1 or 2 very questionable shots, this show has been very wholesome, and I would recommend it to people who hate the anime bullshit.
So, this is the kind of show, no joke, when I have kids someday, I would actually show them to try to get them into science. Be like, look at how cool this is. Like, legitimately, this is the kind of show, if you just glaze over those sequences and don't make a big deal out of them, I don't think anyone would ever really think about it more than a second or two. This show is just so off the wall. Let's just do science for science's sake. Let's just, like, there's a looming threat, but we're not really thinking about it. No one really gets hurt or anything like that. It's just casual, like, I don't want to say smart fun, but do you know what I mean? How it's just focused on science. It's not
like Bill Nye the Science Guy, but way less.
Yes.
Way less aimed at small children.
Yes. And there's
We're
like an actual
portals. Cave Johnson. Why? We just do science.
Like, it feels like a lot of it is bullshit. Like,
a ton of it is bullshit. There's no way the main character should have half the knowledge he does.
Well, not even that, but like the way they.
Enough.
Yes, exactly. The way they like Rube Goldberg together all this shit is like, this should never, ever, ever work. Like, the glass thing that he makes in this episode, how do you make that with a tiny ass glass furnace, Freeman? Tell me that. How did he make like a building sized glass structure?
The show does take some shortcuts. Like the first time, like, they risk their lives to get a hold of this like sulfuric acid, and from that point on, anytime they need that,
they just
acid,
have it.
It's just on.
They
hand.
always do that. They always do that. Yeah.
So it's anytime we have a resource, from that point on, we have unlimited of that resource.
We never need to worry about it ever again.
Which is interesting enough.
No, but it's a blast, and watching the characters grow, and like it's almost like this is Chrome's story more than Senku's at times, which I really like, actually.
Yes, I like that the villagers really matter.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was actually a little bit gut wrenching when with the old man.
Oh, and he realizes how like great science is.
Well, when he's like,
oh no, the old man. Sorry,
yeah. When he's like, I don't have like a cool buddy, and they're like, what? We don't care that you're an old man. You're our buddy, and he's like, let's go. It's great.
That was a touching episode.
This show's so much fun. Man, we still have so many shows. Oh, so I'm ahead of Freeman on a show again. Since last time, I watched all of Kakegururi.
Jesus.
How
was the second season?
Just the same again. So Tyler mentioned a few weeks ago, I don't know if it was on the podcast, but he said the second season just kind of ends. And I totally get what he's saying. We're literally in the middle of an arc, and it's just whatever. We're done. Like, we had a kind of big event, but overall, it's just done. And it feels like we're just kind of waiting for another season to finish. Or they didn't know how to finish it, and they just were like, fuck it, we'll put it off. Gambling's all right. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those shows where they're like, how clever can we be? How much bullshit can we make up? Like, oh, you didn't ask if this rule existed, so it exists, and it fucks up everything. And that's how everything goes.
The problem is they have to keep ramping up the bullshit to make it more entertaining.
But I'm saying, like, it's one of those shows where I'm kind of getting tired of, like, oh, ho, ho, this person, oh, look at this. It's like, can we just stop fucking around?
Yeah,
like,
they pigeonholed themselves in with the whole this is a gambling thing, because it's like there's only so many ways you can.
There's only so many stupid
this
fucking
person
games
by doing whatever. It's like okay. Did
you watch the show, Aiden? Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched season 1. I'm in the middle of season 2.
Okay.
I also am feeling the fatigue though.
Like, it's just so, like, I don't even remember some of the early gambles, but, like, oh, here's a perfect one that we can all get. Remember when they're gambling as house pets, where they have super huge debt?
Yeah.
Freeman, do you remember this? When they're doing the 4-player game, the guy, and he's, like, ordering the girl around, and then at the very end, the two girls are like, actually, we switched our nameplates, so you didn't know how much money we were worth. And the organizer's like, it's totally legal to do that. And I'm just like, fuck you. Like, why? You had to find some bullshit to try to justify why they tricked this guy. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Oh my god. And the last fucking thing, the last gamble is the last 2 episodes. And there are, no joke, 3 or 4 distinct moments like that where it's like, oh, but we're playing a wild card thing. And it's like, oh my god, if we get it, everyone cheats all the time. It's less interesting now. Okay, I will say something really dumb about the last gamble. The guy goes into the last gamble with 13 votes when we're talking about hundreds of votes, Aiden. And literally, he does one action and nothing else the whole episode. I'm like, why are you here? Other than to just be a guy in this room. It's fucking hilarious. It's literally a 3-second shot where he's like, I bet 10. It's gone.
God damn it.
Great. I'm down to 3 and season's over. Like, it's frustrating.
Can we just get more Shield Hero?
I don't know.
We are. We're getting 2 whole more seasons.
I know, but it's not here now.
That's 2 more than most shows ever get.
That's a true story.
That's 3 more seasons than most shows ever get. But yeah, gambling's fine. I would watch season 1 on Netflix. Just recognize that, as Tyler would put it, it is definitely a, quote, show of culture. So unless you want to watch a show that literally starts out with a girl's tits bouncing as the start of the closing for the first season, don't watch this show. Because there is so much, oh my god, this gambling excites me so much.
It's Food Wars level.
Yeah. There's
it's kind of yes and kind of no, because there's no clothes coming off, but they really do touch each other a lot more.
I honestly find the Food Wars a little bit more tasteful, weirdly enough.
You know why? Because it's clearly bullshit.
Yes.
Like, it's like, here's a fantasy representation, not literally this girl just, like, straddled this other girl. The gun gamble. That's the gun gamble.
Oh my god, the fucking gun girl was something else.
I will say, the funniest thing about the show, because Aiden, you've seen this, Freeman, the first gamble in season 2 involves Yuriko and the eye patch girl, and the eye patch girl fucks it up, and Yuriko literally, anytime that girl tries to talk to her, Yuriko goes, I don't know who's talking. Can you tell who's talking right now that I can't hear them? And it cuts to her, and she literally looks like a ghost monster.
Oh
and
my
they
God.
do that thing where her eyes are like super open and dead looking, and there's lines all over her face. It's fucking hilarious because the girl can't stand her not paying attention. But it's just like, oh my God, it's the only really funny interaction between people that exists outside of a gamble in the entire show. Everything else is just, oh, the gambling, I had such a realization from gambling.
Yeah, I mean, there's also I despise the lack of character development.
There's
like,
none.
No one ever learns
It's just
anything.
like,
Everyone is the
these
same character.
If we've learned anything from this show, it's the horrors of child gambling addiction.
Actually, no. You know what? There is character growth. Every minor side character who is the focus of a gamble gets character growth. None of the main characters get growth.
You are 100% right.
Like, it when you guys get to the Aiden, you will, Freeman, assuming you end up watching season 2. The last season, Aiden, this isn't a spoiler. You've probably been guessing this. You know the chick with the gloves?
Yeah.
Guess what? She is the focus of character development for the last gamble. Who could have predicted this?
Amazing. I had no idea.
But it's like, after this gamble, it's probably never going to matter ever again.
Oh, of course not.
Like, whatever. And the only person who doesn't develop is Eye Patch Girl, and Yuriko hates her for it.
Yep.
That's Yuriko's only development, is hating that girl.
God damn it.
But speaking of, let's go to something much easier, much more wholesome, and not anime. We'll take our one anime break. I've talked before about a show on Netflix that I absolutely love called The Toys That Made Us. It's just a fun documentary about here's toy lines that were developed when you were growing, like in the 80s or even the 60s and such. And I absolutely cannot sing its praises enough. And a new season came out, and a spin-off show called The Movies That Made Us, where it's the same style, same narrator, but it's about movies. And I can't recommend both enough. There's not story or anything. It's just the way it's edited, the way it's written, the way the people who they got to interview really have interesting things to say. I seriously can't recommend it enough. They're both super good shows to, like, you don't even have to watch this. It's a great show to, like, if you want to just have it on, like, while you're on your phone, just relaxing on your couch or something. It's just fantastic. It's not super stressful or anything like that. I personally have had a blast with all of them. Val's sister just started it recently, and she said she also enjoys it a lot. Again, just give an episode a try. If you like it, pick an episode about something you like the movies that just came out. Oh God, what were some of the movies they did? Dirty Dancing, Home Alone, the original, Die Hard, which was another really cool one. Die Hard is just watching Die Hard. Like, how did Die Hard get made? I don't know. It's a super fascinating story.
Always love behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, and it's interviews with the people who were there. Like, they fucking interviewed what's his name? The main star. Why am I forgetting? Bruce Willis. They didn't interview Bruce Willis for this. They interviewed Bruce Willis's agent when they signed off on Die Hard. And it's about, and like, he literally talks about, like, Bruce at the time had only been doing this comedy TV show, but we wanted him to try something new, and this opportunity came along, and we talked about it and eventually settled on him doing it. And I'm like, that's fascinating. That's really cool to learn about, like, what actually happened then. It's not about the stars so much as the actual project itself. And every single one of the movie ones was actually really cool because they end with them going to where one or two of the people going to where the movie was made. Like, for the Die Hard one, the cop from Die Hard, him and the film crew go back to Nakatomi Plaza, and he's, like, pointing and, like, these trees weren't here, but this is the hill where my car rolled down the hill, and I was in it. And that's where we shot this, and that's where, oh my God, it's changed so much in 30 years. It's so cool. I can't recommend both series enough.
I'll definitely check it out. I need something that's not weeb trash.
And it's, like I said, it's also... and it's, like I said, it's just not stressful. It's not stressful either. It's
just like some nice documentary
easy.
goodness.
What was the fourth one? Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters. That's what it was. Like, talk about a spread of good movies to watch. Even Dirty Dancing, I've never watched and I probably never will, but the story of like how the main act, like the guy playing the main dude in that movie did 50 takes on an almost shattered knee of him jumping off the stage, and on the last take they got it perfectly and everyone went crazy. And you see the background footage of everyone going nuts. It's awesome. Anyway, back into the Weeb trash though. Speaking of Weeb trash.
The first Weeb trash that you watched.
The first of two Fire things. I didn't watch the second one, but Fire Force has been still quite good. I wanted to tell you, Friedman, that when you watch the current episode, this has one shot of jaw-droppingly gorgeous animation.
Good.
And it's
Studio Shaft is always delivering.
Like, I know that the fire effects have been amazing in this show. Like, that's one thing that has never been bad. I mean, I still talk about that drop kick from orbit. That was so fucking beautiful. And that crying scene, I mean, but this episode is great. I mean, who would have thought that just fire in like a dark tunnel would be so exciting to watch?
Oh, they had like really good lighting effects on it.
Oh my god! Like, how much have you watched of Fire Force? I forget. Are you caught up? Like one?
I'm not caught up.
Are you even close?
Busy. No, I'm like 7 episodes
That's
behind.
Fine.
I think.
Basically, they had a small thing where they got some power ups, not power ups, but like they got some
14 out of 24. I don't know.
Okay, so you're not even close. They got a little new
off.
tech, and the lieutenant got a new gun, and he shoots this gun in the underground, and they like show the ripple of the shockwave and the lighting on everything as he shoots this new gun that's like a mini cannon he's got going. It's so gorgeous. It's really fantastic. I'm really interested in where the story goes. There's been a lot of really cool stuff. There is character development, unlike gambling. And I'm really excited with it. I've really been enjoying it. Fire Force has definitely been a rocky ride, but this most recent arc and the one before it have really got me going. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that when I eventually get there.
That's fair.
We'll see how long it takes. The last arc I watched was definitely way better than what came before it. So hopefully it found its place.
Oh yeah, you're in the town attack, right?
I finished that arc.
Okay, yeah, you still got
it. It just wrapped up. I don't know where they're going next, but they definitely wrapped that arc.
Yeah. But Aiden, you watched another thing about firefighters that neither of us watched.
I did, and it is very, very good. Promare I saw over the weekend with Tyler and some other folks, and it's a Trigger out of 10 anime movie.
Trigger out of 10.
So if you've I mean, like, the main character is literally Kamina from Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, I like how
trying to tell us he's
like
not.
What was it
like,
when
oh man.
What was it when when they like announced it and everyone's like, this looks like Kamina, and Freeman, didn't they say it's not
the character
Kamina?
design, he's like, it's not Kamina, but like every character I draw ends up becoming Kamina at some point.
But then
like,
Aiden and Tyler came out of the movie and you asked, was it Kamina? And both of them were like, yep, that's Kamina.
Yeah, no, it's Kamina.
They like insisted he wasn't going to be anything like Kamina.
Oh no, it's 100% Kamina.
And they just blatantly lied to our faces.
Yep. Very, very good show or movie. Kind of a long runtime. It was how long? I want to say it was like 2 hours.
Let's find out.
It felt like it was 2 hours.
It's
an hour and
111 minutes, so
51.
just shy of 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. It covers a lot of stuff, and it is exactly what you would expect from Trigger.
Nice.
Like, so I didn't know this was This was from Trigger when I went in.
Oh.
And then I saw Trigger, and I'm like, oh.
Let's go.
We're going to space by the end of this movie.
Firefighters in space.
Like, oh, okay, firefighter, so this would probably be like a Fire Force kind of thing.
The only way to put out a fire this big is to go to space.
But
And
what if
use
the
bigger
fires
fire.
are snakes?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no.
And you fight them with robots?
God, that
It's
sounds
super
like
good.
anime.
If you ever get a chance to watch it, you should watch it because it's like, man, it's got Kill la Kill, it's got fucking Gurren Lagann, it's got like
God, I've still
Darling
never
in the
watched
Franxx.
Kill la Kill.
It's like it's just everything Trigger and it's all great.
Wait, but I thought Darling in the Franxx was terrible.
I like Darling in the Franxx.
Oh.
I don't know anybody who did.
I've always heard the internet
you don't know
like,
you don't know anyone who didn't like Darling in the Franxx?
Yeah.
All right, well,
He's
Aiden,
right
it's
here.
it's nice to meet you.
He's
because
right here, Aiden.
I really didn't like the second half of Darling in the Franxx.
Well, yeah, I should say
That's fine.
As far as I
that's
know,
fine.
as far as I know, everyone was on board with Darling in the Franxx in the first half, and then the second half fell off a cliff.
You want to know why?
Yes.
Because Studio Trigger didn't actually work on the second half.
Of
A1
course.
Pictures did the entire second half.
Oh God, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's okay. It was all right. Fine. It was the good half of Darling in the Franxx.
Damn.
There you go.
Like, look, I'm not gonna spend more time ripping on Darling in the Franxx. I already did that for like 40 episodes or 4 episodes.
Yeah. I mean,
but like there was that one. I think it was like episode 8 or 9. They go to the beach and one of them finds this book that indicates like how to raise children. Someone's like, "What the fuck is child rearing?" And I was like, "This is it. This is the start of the arc about human psychology." And it just didn't pan out.
yeah, no, it didn't pan out in the way that I wanted either.
Like it felt like this was gonna be the next Evangelion, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Womp.
It like, I mean, the thing about this movie though was that you can look at all of the characters in this movie and be like, oh, that was this person from Kill la Kill, or that was like, there's a dude who's basically just Viral from Gurren Lagann.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Like, so it's like, no, he's not supposed to be Kamina, but yeah, he's supposed to be Kamina. That's just how this happened, because they were all supposed to be like that. And I'm okay with it, because it was fucking great. 10 out of 10.
Freeman, I think I know the answer, but is there any word on this coming to anything else now that it's out of theaters?
Promare? I don't know. So they already have the dub. It's probably going to come out on Blu-ray within the next 6 months.
Okay.
This one is being run by G Kids, not Funimation. So I don't know what their like release cadence looks like. With Funimation, it's usually 2 months after it's in theaters. It's out on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Except Bunny Girl Senpai is also following a really weird cadence too. I don't know when that movie's coming out on Blu-ray. Or Konosuba. You know what? Fuck it. I don't know when movies come out on Blu-ray anymore. Anime's weird.
Sick. Anime was a mistake.
Anime is a huge mistake.
And then the last thing is just something that I've been watching. This is almost for Luigi, even though he doesn't literally. I don't think. Does he still listen to the podcast? I don't even know.
I doubt it.
For Luigi,
No one listens to this podcast.
I haven't finished it yet because Val wasn't really feeling it, but I'm gonna finish it before I'm home for the holidays. Amagi Brilliant Park is an anime that Luigi was pushing for us to watch a fair bit, actually. I've been enjoying it. It's another not super stressful, like everything's resolved at the end of an episode. Like there's a looming problem, but we're kind of working our way towards it. It's fun. It's wholesome. It's nothing super stressful. There's characters are moderately interesting. It doesn't seem like anything earth-shattering, but it's just fun and easy, which, counts for a lot with anime that's so stressful these days.
Can't be too sweaty all the time.
Holy shit. We spent 45 minutes. Half of this podcast is just what we watched.
Yep.
Oh, and one more thing. What we played and other stuff. I finished Fallen Order this past weekend. And Fallen Order is a pretty fantastic 8 out of 10 video game. There are definite problems. One of my most liked tweets in a very long time, actually, was this game has definitely got problems. And Aiden, you've beaten it, and you can attest that there's definitely issues in this game. But
yes, there are.
Few Star Wars games, even ever, have been such a solid product, and it's been a long time since a Star Wars game in particular, but any game really has made me go, oh wow, that was so cool. we talked about this in the Malicos fight near the end of the game, where like this game actually has people playing with how lightsabers work and everything. It's a lot of fun. Like Freeman, this isn't really a spoiler.
I'm not going to play the game, and if I do, it's going to be years from now, so feel free to
Or you can
spoil
watch
it.
the Let's Play.
One
of the last guys you fight in the game, one of the last bosses, is a dual-wielding lightsaber guy. And he has a move where he'll stand away from you, and he'll literally take a lightsaber in his left hand and throw it into the air and hover it there with the Force. Then he will charge at you, swing at you, and then send the other lightsaber from up in the air rocketing down to hit you. It is such... That move, I can honestly say, I have never seen in Star Wars media ever anywhere else, and that is... I can't say that very often, ever, about Star Wars. That is such a cool, interesting way, and that's not the only move he does, but just to show the creativity they use thinking about things like this, like, it's just a blast. It's such a fun game to play. It's, like I said, it's not perfect, but if you have any interest in Star Wars or anything, I would buy this just to give support, but even then, like, it's really a fun game. I will say, if you want to, unless you're really nuts about collectibles, don't ever backtrack until literally the last mission of the game, because there's always new areas to open with new powers until almost the end of the game.
Oh, so it's not worth it to backtrack yet.
Yes.
You're going to end up re-backtracking anyway.
Yeah. There's almost no reason to ever re-backtrack. Like, until you unlock the fifth planet, right? Ilum is the fifth planet, Aiden? Yeah. Until you unlock the fifth planet, never backtrack. And then as soon as you do that, you're kind of in the end game now. Haha.
I get it.
Or you could do the fifth planet because you kind of need to for lightsaber and all that shit. But that's when you backtrack. Like, when you unlock the sixth secret planet at the end, basically, or the final mission, that's just backtrack then. Don't backtrack before that. Unless you literally look up a guide and go, I want this, this, and this to be my final look, then it's fine. But this is the kind of game where you're like, oh, there's this secret right here, and I got in finally, and there I needed another power to finish the secret. Great. So it's like, don't even bother, because you're always unlocking new moves in that game. I really disagree with how long it takes you to unlock push and pull in that game. But again, like I said, there's, like, parry timing can be weird. I definitely disagree with just cosmetic upgrades. Some of the force abilities feel really useless and weak. Like, throwing the lightsaber is cool, but man, does that never, ever, ever help anybody.
Yeah, I mean, why throw your lightsaber when you can pull them to it?
Or you can... which is actually an instant kill move on most enemies.
Yes, which is why I always did it.
Yeah, or you can charge up your push and do the mega push that pushes all enemies.
Yep.
It's like there's almost no reason to ever throw your lightsaber. Did you unlock the move that you attack when you're switching styles, Aiden?
Yes.
Did you ever use it?
Yeah.
Oh, because I never unlocked it because I was like, I'm never switching styles while I'm fighting. I usually take a step back and switch styles if I need to, or if I run into a fight and I go, oh, there's multiple enemies, double-bladed. Oh, it's one enemy, single-bladed. Like, I never found myself constantly switching styles that much, so...
That's true. Honestly, I found the most use for it in, like, the little arena thing that happens.
Oh, where the music plays and it's fucking great?
Yes, the really that awesome set piece.
I love that song. It's so good. It's so cool. It's such a fun song.
Yeah, it's a very good game. If they just polished off those edges a little bit, it would be a 10
I think with
10.
6 more months in the tank, this game could have been great. Like, fast traveling would have really helped this game. We talked about that the other day.
Fast traveling, enemy tracking needs to be addressed. The parry windows are
weird.
Confusing at best.
Yeah.
So
some of the enemies are a little too frustrating with all their constant blocks. Like, by the end of the game, it's like I have to use force powers all the time. There's not really any cleverness to anything. Like, never mind, keep going.
That was one of my biggest complaints, especially when you're like dealing with like the Inquisitor
Yeah, the
dudes.
Purge Troopers.
I can't remember what they're. The Purge Troopers.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you have, which I wish they took this from Sekiro. Unless you're fighting a mini boss in Sekiro, if you wear down their stamina, you kill them. You just one-shot them. I really wish they did that because it's like I played on Grandmaster difficulty because I'm a fucking idiot. And like it took me like 8 or 9 swings sometimes to get their stamina down. And then I get one hit and it deals 20% of their life.
Yeah, and then it's like,
and then I'm like, okay, well,
force pull dead. Force push off
exactly.
cliff dead. It's like you feel like you're cheating.
Yeah, it feels a little too much like you have to be gimmicky about it rather than just rely on your skills as they would naturally manifest.
And it bothers you when you do that, or you try to avoid doing it because it bothers you? I'm curious.
A little bit of both. I try not to do it because like I just like, hey man, I'm a fucking Jedi. I just,
you know what also sucks though, Freeman?
Dude.
Like so it's not often, but there's a few scenes where you get to be like, you see a Jedi doing other stuff, like flashbacks with your master, or right near the end of the game. Aiden, I don't understand. And it's like, man, they're just walking around like pushing one dude to the ceiling, slashing another dude, and like killing him with their lightsaber in one blow. And it's like, meanwhile, one scout trooper with like a stun prod is like, block, block, block. Oh no, you hit me once. Block, block, block. Oh no, you hit me once. And it's like, I appreciate that for the gameplay you have to make it feel like this, but like, God, sometimes just let it feel like it's a lightsaber. God damn it.
Yeah, I agree. This game definitely could have used with just a little bit more Force Unleashed kind of feeling.
But even Force Unleashed was like the same way.
Yeah, I mean, just like instead of.
You know what I look forward to? You know what I hope? I really hope this game is able to be modded. Then people are going to fucking go nuts. Like Freeman, here's a funny thing. There are executions in this game. You will literally do execution animations where you will slice a stormtrooper in half and nothing happens to them. They just die because they could not put dismemberments in this game because it's T for teen.
You could do it to droids though. That's okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, well that's just
you cut droids in half all the time.
I don't know.
But
droids' rights.
I feel like unless there's like no way to mod this game, which maybe, I mean, it's like on Origin, so who the fuck knows?
I know that somebody's modded in like a different main character model.
See, that's cool. But like all I'm saying is I want modders to be able to really dig into this and actually add dismemberment. Maybe make the lightsaber a little stronger.
Yeah, or maybe next time, like, hey, Jedi Fallen Order 2 can just be M. That'd be cool.
Wait, what?
Rated M.
So rated M. I thought you were... So because the game is so Metroidy, I thought you were making like a Metroid Other M reference, and I'm like, no. Jesus, what are you talking about? I heard that game sucks.
No.
Oh my god.
I mean, I know that'll never happen, but hey, I can have dreams.
Here's a question, Aiden. I forget. Did you play the KOTOR games or no?
Yes, I'm actually replaying KOTOR 2 right now.
Oh, that's so cool. Now, maybe you'll agree with me. I was hoping for more of a KOTOR 2 system with the lightsaber than just cosmetics.
Yeah. That's another thing for me that kind of bothered me a lot in the end, where I'm like, okay, I'm finding all of this like shit around.
Who cares?
But none of it is of any significance.
Freeman, there are two kinds of collectibles in the game. There are chests which hold only cosmetics for you, your lightsaber, your ship, or your droid, and experience upgrades. And then the best version of those is charges to fully upgrade your maximum health or force power. It's 3 for 1, basically.
Heart containers and shit.
Gotcha.
That's it. There are no other ways to power up than just getting experience and buying upgrades that are only new, except for a couple which are like increase your health, increase your force powers, and 1 damage boost. 1. Everything else is a move. Or like buffing a move, like your push gets stronger and shit. But like this straight up lightsaber damage, 1 buff. And
Yeah,
it just makes me
and
miss
it's
KOTOR.
an expensive buff too.
Yeah, 3 points. And yet,
So-
I'm glad I had been saving. The second I unlocked that one, bought it.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's like...
And even then, it still didn't
Yep.
feel good enough,
Nope.
because I'm like... And I mean, again, I don't know if you felt any differently playing on the lower difficulties, like if
Nope.
it scaled differently, but
Not at
I'm
all.
like, I got this upgrade, and
I felt like I
like,
killed enemies one hit faster, even though it was like dropping from 5 to 4 or 4 to 3 or something like that.
Yeah, and it came so late in the game.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I would have liked to feel a little bit stronger at the end of the game rather than just like, okay, you get like 3 force powers and like...
Could you imagine a system where instead of shitty other upgrades, like who cares about all these emitter styles, you find crystals that are not the power crystal, but they're like the KOTOR buff crystals, but they
that
add...
would've been cool.
But could you imagine if like they gave a stat boost but also did a small visual thing to your blade? Like maybe there's a little bit of waver to the blade, or like a couple little sparks shooting out of the bottom or something. How cool would that have been?
Yeah, that would have been
so
really dope.
Awesome.
Like the unstable kyber crystals.
Yeah,
and shit like
dude.
That. Yeah.
Oh,
that would have been really neat. I do hope that we get something else like this in the future, because
yes,
I did.
This
really
is a great
enjoy
starting
it.
point.
Look, EA learned their lesson. People want single-player Star
No,
Wars
they didn't.
games.
Come on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't think this game would have gotten made if Titanfall 2 hadn't been such a critical success.
Yeah, honestly, like
speaking
I
of which,
this was a good thing for Respawn.
Oh, this was a great for
this
Respawn
was a
and
huge
Star
success.
Wars, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Like Star Wars hasn't looked so good in a long time because of and thanks to the Mandalorian and this coming at the same time, things are looking better for Star Wars than they really ever have. And who knows how this movie might easily butcher that.
These
I'm not
movies
seeing that in
canon.
theater.
So my coworker just bought tickets for opening night, and he said, "Hey, you're coming," and got me a ticket. So I'm
Okay.
seeing it on opening night.
You're seeing it for free. I might see it for free if I was
am
gonna.
not seeing it for free. He Venmo requested me the ticket fee after.
Oh well, then say bye. I'm not going. If any of you
But
tried,
you bought a ticket for...
no joke. If any of you bought a ticket and said, "Tim, we're going to see Star Wars," and I had to pay you back for it, I wouldn't go. That's how strongly I don't want to see Episode 9. I would only see it for free. That's not me trying to bully anyone into buying me a ticket or anything. I just realized that sounded like that. No, I just don't. I don't want to spend $1 watching Episode 9.
Understandable. I did not want to spend $60 to play Pokemon Sword and Shield. I get that.
And you held the line too.
I'm holding the line, yes.
And then you're like, I'm going to spend $55 buying a sold back copy at GameStop.
Look, maybe.
You're a
oh my God.
You're a better man than I.
I think I've finally ridden out the hype. Like me going to a GameStop to ask if they had it was I hit my lowest point and I was ready to succumb to the Poke fever, and now it's just like no. I'm strong on
hold
this.
the line.
I still have to beat Final Fantasy X.
I will say playing Fallen Order actually kind of makes me want to reinstall Titanfall and play through that campaign again, because that was another stellar campaign by Respawn.
Yes.
I just want to hear.
Respawn's a good studio.
I just want to hear BT go, protect the pilot. That game's so fucking good.
Oh man. I hope we get more stuff from Respawn. I hope they stick around for a while.
I think they will.
They've done a lot of good stuff, and they haven't gotten nearly as much credit as they've deserved so far.
I mean, Apex Legends, while it hasn't really, it's definitely fallen below Fortnite. I think. I think they're doing whatever. I think they're doing more than fine. Like clearly, this sold well. I think that's what all the headlines said, was that this sold really well. And Apex is doing good, if not on top, but great, probably. It's probably number 2 at this point.
Still making money.
And I think people are hyped for Titanfall 3, which should come someday because I really want it to. And that's why it should come someday. To cover a few other games that we've played, we all started playing Master Chief, obviously. You can watch the Let's Play. It's live. And actually, as of the release of this episode, the second session just started coming out earlier today, when you are currently listening to this podcast, probably. So there you go. Session 2 is starting to release. I mean, I don't love Reach, but I love playing Halo with you guys, and I can't wait for more Halo games to come out.
Yes.
And I even played multiplayer yesterday with Aiden. And I still got it, baby. Second place in my game, the first game I fucking played. Felt so good. I still got it.
Choir practice with the boys. What a good time. Man, I forgot how fun Halo was.
Yep. Even playing Reach, I'm like, you know what Reach made me realize? Aiden, you'll get this. Man, I can't fucking wait till Halo 3's on PC.
I know.
When that game comes on PC, I'm gonna be like, I'm done. I can't play anything else. I'll actually grind this multiplayer.
Yep, no crossplay matchmaking, no nothing.
No, I'll
just
do it with
Halo
2.
3 for
I'll do it with 2 if Tyler's playing. If Tyler's not playing, it's 3 only. Because Tyler's gonna be like, we have to play 2, guys. 2's the better one. And I'm gonna be like, nah, fuck you. I want to play 3 forever. Fuck. But even playing Reach is fun. It's a good holdover. It feels like Halo. Still got it. Reach it's fun playing. I'm more just looking forward to when Halo 1 comes out. I would happily literally play through the entirety of Halo 1 with each of you. Like, I know me and Tyler are going to do it for the Let's Play, and you guys are going to be on the bench until Halo 3, but, like, off camera, I would happily play Halo 1 again multiple times, because Halo 1 campaign is just so good. Oh, God.
Yeah.
But, amazingly, I'm finally done. Have you guys played anything in the last few weeks that's worth talking about? Aiden, you don't want to talk about Pokemon, or do you?
Well, I gave up on Pokemon. I beat the first gym. I was literally like, I just can't be bothered.
You could sell Freeman your copy for $45, and he'll still get a better deal than GameStop.
Do you want my copy, Freeman?
Are you actually willing to sell it?
I don't know. I'll have to think on it.
Because I might be in the market to purchase.
Freeman, you just talked about holding the line.
Just get that speech.
You know what? No, I won't let you do it. I refuse.
He won't.
Why would you give me this false hope like this?
He's the drug dealer.
And then pull it away.
He's the drug dealer saving yourself.
Tempting me.
Yeah, first bag's free, man.
Oh my god.
Okay. No, I mean, really, I've just been playing a lot of Halo.
And COD.
I've been playing, competitive Halo, COD. I've dabbled in Rocket League again.
Oh, Divinity.
Oh yeah, we've been playing Divinity.
Divinity 2.
I got my sweet ass bow, and I'm super happy about that.
Aiden's fucking busted. We have a party that's mostly me, Tyler, and Aiden, and then Freeman or Luigi help us out. Although Freeman probably won't anymore.
Yeah, maybe not so much anymore.
That's fine. But either way, Divinity is really fun if you got a co-op team going. It really is like the closest I've ever played to a D&D video game ever. Hands down, nothing's ever been this close.
Yep.
As evidenced by the fact that we killed literally every guard in the starting area and the people who we had done some quests for. We just murdered them later.
Yeah, it's great.
10 out of 10, best game.
It's so good.
No, it's fun. I worry that this game is going to lose momentum like a lot of RPGs do once the world opens up.
No.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay. No.
I can promise you that.
That's fine. It might just be because we haven't played together as consistently as we did those first few days when Tyler was like, let's play Divinity. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of the threat, I don't really give a shit about the story, but it's also got multiplayer, which so few RPGs have, so.
Yeah. It's a good time. I actually started up my game in that again.
Oh, you're single player?
Yeah, I made my custom squad, and I'm just, having a grand old RPG time with it. Other than that, I've played some just fighting games, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Street Fighter V.
Just to check, Fighters is done, right? No more DLC ever?
That's what they said.
Okay.
But through the wonders and magics of data mining, there is very likely going to be a season 3.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
How many more Gokus and Vegetas can we fit in this game?
The speculation right now is that they're going to add Ultra Instinct Goku.
Oh my god.
And some other characters, probably like the Universe 6 Saiyans.
Oh, so more super shit.
Yeah, more of the super stuff. Because like one of the data mined, I think one of the data mine things that they found was they had a tournament of Power Stage.
Ooh.
That somebody dug up. And they found like they found a dramatic finish of Goku and Golden Frieza kicking Jiren's ass.
Oh, cool.
Dramatic
finish.
Yeah. So in all likelihood, we're probably gonna see a season 3. If we do, it's going to be the last one because I would imagine that they're going to want to do.
This game's been over 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? That's
well,
crazy.
Yeah, I think so.
I
mean, nothing.
I'd imagine they're going for Dragon Ball FighterZ 2, like when the new consoles drop.
I mean, few things have done as well though, like in terms of fighting games in years, right? This seems to have just
especially
been so
when it
far
comes,
ahead.
Especially when it comes to the Dragon Ball franchise.
Oh yeah, nothing
because you had
comes close.
Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2, and those are like barely fighting games. And it's like everybody was like, "Yo, when are we gonna get like a fucking 2D Dragon Ball fighting game?"
He is.
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Welcome to the end of the podcast, Tyler. We are literally
we're about
wrapping
to talk
up.
about what we're doing this week.
Oh
yeah,
we actually did mostly talk about what we're doing this week. But do you have anything you want to say on? Do you see the show notes, Tyler? Are you in the show notes?
What? I didn't know you guys were still doing this.
Yeah, we're almost
I probably
done.
Should have.
Yeah, you fucking rude ass just coming in here in the middle of a production.
That's true.
Coming back into your own show.
Yeah, true.
No, fuck you. He's the guest now.
What do we got here? Resident Evil 3.
Hold on. No, only because we'll let you have the end of the show. Aiden, is that all you had for played?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm doing a Dark Side playthrough of KOTOR 2, and I am playing BattleTech, which is Mech Warrior.
Okay. Freeman, any games or anything?
I've slowed down how much I'm playing MTG Arena just because I'm caught up on the set for this release. I'm about to max out the Mastery Pass. Once I do that, I'm just straight up not logging in for a couple weeks just to freshen it out.
Yep.
In terms of other games, FFX is on my target list for this week to start playing again.
Cool. Anything
Hopefully
else?
we actually do that. That should be it. Catching up on anime. I tried starting Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia, and I watched episode 0 and it didn't make any sense at all. So I double checked the internet and they said, "Oh, well, you need to watch the first movie and or play like 150 hours of the cell phone game to understand this." So I'm gonna watch the movie and then jump back in at episode 1 and see if this makes any sense. But I don't think it's going to. But that's what the Fate franchise does.
Yeah,
so.
Seriously. All right, Tyler.
So that's what we're doing.
Any thoughts on any of the shows or stories or anything from this week to give everyone your behind the scenes?
Yeah, I'm gonna rapid fire this.
Totally.
Don't give a shit about Magic.
Just focus on what you care about, okay?
Overwatch is like whatever. I don't care. I'm playing other games. Black Widow's gonna be garbage. Castlevania can't wait for. Resident Evil 3.
Hold on. You don't have to go that fast, Tyler.
No, you gotta go faster.
Did you actually hear about what this Castlevania thing was?
No, I didn't.
Netflix had tweeted a bunch of dates, including like early, like the first week of December or something, for the next season of Castlevania, and they pulled it down. And then someone tweeted it at one of the main animators or something, and they said, "That's weird. We're working on the last episode of season 3 right now." So now everyone's like, "Oh, maybe end of December or start of next year for a new Castlevania season."
Yeah, I can't wait though.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna be fucking great. The first 2 seasons were amazing.
Yep.
And the end of the last season just made me want to have even more.
Yep.
I saw Resident Evil 3 today. So here's the thing, real quick on that. I don't care about Resident Evil 3 that much. I had fun with it.
Oh.
But this only means that they're definitely doing a Resident Evil 4 remake.
Really?
Whoa.
Wow.
Do you
That's
really
impressive.
think they're gonna do an RE4 remake?
No, I disagree.
They need to release it on more platforms.
They have to. Nah, they have to.
I feel like they do an RE1 remake in this style before they
did
it
already,
in
though. They did.
In this style?
In this style?
They did RE remake, but not this.
No. They won't do it. I'm telling you. Because they're like, oh, we're gonna keep the whole remake train going because they had one already that they literally remade. They're not gonna remake it again.
Why?
For the third time.
Yeah, but
time.
they remade it in like the original style though, of
And
like
for
the
the
fixed
GameCube.
camera angles
But
and all
that's
that.
also they also changed the story with that remake. So now the story makes sense.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
I still don't think that'll
Yeah,
stop them.
they don't need to do it. I mean, you're right though. They might change it, but I honestly don't think they are. I think they're gonna go. They're gonna go for the gusto, and they're gonna remake 4.
I think if they remade 4, it would be at least 2 years, and it would be into the next console cycle.
Yes, no, it wouldn't be now. I don't think it'll be now, but I think with them, because I was like, you know, I don't think they're gonna remake 3. Like when 2 came out this year, I was like, they made 2, like they said it right, but I thought they were just gonna make it just to get it out of the way because they were literally talking about it for almost a decade.
And in less than a year, they turned around and said, "We're doing 3 also."
We're doing 3, and I was like, nah, this means 4. 4 has to happen now.
I feel like, but it's we were talking about it.
That's fine.
Like,
Yo, we got
no,
this on.
Me and
what?
Aiden were talking about it, and I think a big part of why 3 is even happening is because they probably made a shit ton of the assets they need for this also when they did 2. 4 is such a different game that, like, that's a much bigger project to undertake.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, basically, that. No, it's funny. It's actually that you mentioned that Resident Evil 3 was indeed just that. It was actually the Majora's Mask of the Resident Evil franchise.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo,
they just used 2 to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That explains why the remake's so quick and easy. Quick.
But I'm holding out faith.
Look, let's just get to the 3 remake and see what happens there.
Yeah, right?
Although
that's fine. The RE7 engine version of Resident Evil 4 makes me scared.
Dude,
thinking about that makes me scared.
All I'm saying is that 3 wasn't that popular. 2 was really popular. 3 was like whatever. Code Veronica was really good. Everybody liked that.
See, why when they do a Code Veronica first?
Everyone liked that because Code Veronica, no one really played it.
Yeah,
like,
but they're doing 3 for the same same thing. So why not just
only the hardcore players? Also, 3 is a part of the mainline story. Is a numbered title.
Who cares about the mainline story?
Hey man, all I'm saying is that if I was a marketing person, this is how I would do it. I wouldn't even touch Code Veronica.
You wouldn't even think they would do Code Veronica then 4.
They
should. Build the hype.
They really should, because Code Veronica is a part of the actual main story of the game. Technically, that should have been 4. Because if you think about it, I don't know if how familiar you guys are with the story at all.
Fairly well.
So, all right, yeah. So overall, Albert Wesker, right? Everybody knows that name. He's the main baddie. He is also the main, like, overarching bad guy in Code Veronica, and the whole point of the entire story is like, oh, Wesker's getting up all of these, like, you know, bad jujubes, the bioweapons, to make himself stronger. And he's like a main driving force in that game, where in 4 it's like he is more of a shadow overlooking everything. So technically Resident Evil 4 is more of a side story than anything. However, that was the most popular because of all of the all the gameplay mechanics and how drastically it changed the game.
Right.
But I think that's why they would want to get that one out, because also they can't beat that dead horse anymore. Well, they can, but you know, it's like, well, we already released this game on literally every console known to man next to Skyrim. What's the next move? Remake it, so then we can do it all over again. The cycle repeats. That's all I gotta say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is garbage. Final Fantasy 7. Oh, it's a timed exclusive, I'm guessing, on because that's where all this news is coming from. It's all coming from the Sony press conference that was
Sounds
going
about
on
right.
Today.
Didn't even know that was happening. Just saw some news.
Yeah, no, that all this news, all these trailers came out of that today.
Sick.
The Witcher, saw some monster fighting.
Did you watch Geralt's or both?
Oh, I just watched Geralt's.
Oh, because the Siri one came out during the day today.
Oh, it's got monster fighting in it.
Uh,
thought not.
it's got Kahir in it.
Oh yeah.
Wow, way to just Jesus, Tyler, not care at all.
I don't give a shit.
Wow, Tyler's not even gonna like this show, and I'm gonna love it, and we're gonna see who's right.
I might not like this show. I might. I again though. When I saw that character featurette with
Geralt,
Henry Cavill, I did enjoy that.
Okay, we'll see.
I was like, yo, I have faith because, and also like when he talked about the character, it seemed like he actually genuinely like.
Oh, that's what I was saying before you got on. Like, he clearly has read. I think I've heard that he's read all the books and played like 2 and 3 or something like that, or just 3. Like, if anyone knows the character of Geralt, he definitely knows Geralt.
Yeah, like I definitely saw that like in other compared to other like movie featurettes like that.
Yep.
You get a lot where the talent's like, oh, it's this, and they're clearly trying to sell the movie, but like he's like trying to be professional, but you could tell like he really enjoys the character. I think like that's the vibe I truly get from that.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's acting, who knows? But I have faith in it. He seems pretty cool, and like that's the kind of passion I would want from someone who's playing a character that I enjoy. But I'm gonna watch it. We'll see what happens. I already know there's not gonna be a lot of monster fighting, but it's okay. I'll still give it a chance. What do we got here? Why is Alicization fucked?
So the principal director of photography and art direction at A1 Pictures for Sword Art has been just posting how crazy the schedule is and how he's just so depressed working on this project. And he's kind of like the reason Sword Art's been good ever since the end of season 2. So they're kind of like that's why we're doing a split core instead of 26 like they said they were originally going to, because the schedule is just fucked and they don't have like the animation talent they need to make it work on time.
Because I've been enjoying it.
I have been too. I haven't seen last Friday's episode. I've seen everything up to that, but you've noticed some of the less than spectacular CG this season, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have to cut corners where they can because they've kept a lot of very impressive bits. But the question is, how are the last 2 episodes going to look? Is what we really need to know.
All right,
and we'll find out.
And then what I watched, watching Mandalorian, show's pretty great. I like it a lot. Still watching Alicization, like I just said. I think the plot is still pretty good. I think it's not really going anywhere, but it's definitely fun to watch.
Cool action scenes. That's all we really wanted.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the overarching story is like literally neither here nor there, but it's fine. Oh yeah, overcautious hero is overpowered, or overpowerly hero is overly cautious.
Overpowerly.
Oh, that it's getting delayed a week again.
Damn.
They're also having production problems.
Big fucking yikes. I think it's just okay. I don't think it's anything to write home to mom about.
The problem is it feels like they exhausted the only joke the show has pretty early.
Yeah. Like, I feel like it was trying to do something that, like, One Punch Man does, almost. Something like that. But One Punch Man has so many more things going on with it, where it's like, this is its only shtick. And it's starting to get dry real quick, so I don't know how long that's gonna stay on our watch list. Or I don't know, they're probably gonna keep it on. Still rewatching Code Geass.
Hell yeah.
Finished Daybreak, that show on Netflix that I originally said didn't want to recommend to you guys. Then I said I would recommend it to you guys. Did I say that part?
Yes. Are you about to rescind the recommendation? Or are you gonna validate?
Oh no. I still recommend it. I like this show.
Gotcha.
I like it a lot. I like the soundtrack. I like the characters. It's got like its own quirky thing.
You know, let me throw it on the queue now so I don't forget about this show.
There you go. What else did I watch? I watched that Promare
is how, yeah.
Promare. Listen, It's just a trigger anime, all right? Obligatory trigger anime.
That's exactly what Aiden said.
Just firefighters, all right? Like that's pretty much it. It's funny. I was on my way out to see it, and my dad's like, "What are you gonna go see?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm watching a movie, a firefighter movie." He's like, "What?" Because he was a firefighter, and I'm like, it's
not your kind of firefighter.
Yeah, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Well, it's firefighters, but they fight the fires, but the fires is monsters though." Goodbye. I'm like, "All right, see you later." Peace. I watched The Irishman for 3.5 hours.
Oh,
That was pretty good. I liked it a lot.
nice.
Yeah, but man, it's quite the commitment, and I would love to tell people where to logically stop to go back to it later, but I literally can't tell you a good place to stop. It just goes. Like you literally just put the movie on and it just goes. And it doesn't stop until it stops because it's a Scorsese movie. And what am I playing? Because I'm moving right along. I'm playing a lot of fucking Halo.
Probably gonna play Halo
I
after
should start
this.
playing some multiplayer.
Probably gonna do that after this.
I played last night. I'm still playing Carl on Duty like sometimes.
Carl on Duty.
Carl on Duty, yeah, Modern Warfare. What was the other thing? I touched something else this week.
Divinity?
Oh yeah, that's the game. I feel like I haven't had a lot of time to play games.
Yep.
But when I have been playing games, I've been playing Halo. And that's all I got for the news, the Weeb shit, and what I watched.
And that's all we got for a podcast. So thank you for showing up, everybody. We are definitely going to end it here because this went way later than it felt like it was going to at the start of this when we were blazing through this news. But thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for listening. Until next time, though, we'll be back next week with our last show of the year. Maybe we'll do like a year wrap-up or something like that. But until then, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
Noble 6-9 finishing the fight.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.